Chapter 307. In fact, Li Shannying planned to kill Xiaochen personally in a few days. But this kind of thing obviously couldn't be told to Qiao Yuliang. He didn't want the news to be leaked. After all, the fact that he personally killed someone was not publicized. Qiao Yuliang didn't need to know. The cooperation between the two was also over. Ah, I see. Qiao Yuliang hung up the phone gloomily. He happened to see Chen Jinping walking over with a gloomy face. He couldn't help but wonder. Jinping, what's wrong with you? Why do you look so gloomy? Didn't you tell me that Uncle Shun was looking for you to talk about the marriage with Xin Jingxian? Don't mention it. Chen Jinping waved his hand and said, I guess Uncle Shun saw that my family didn't bring much help to the Shun family, so he regretted it a little. Originally, we agreed to talk about the engagement. In the end, my father didn't help him with it. He said that I replaced my elder brother, so it's not good to get engaged now. In short, he seemed to regret it a little. Qiao Yuliang understood and patted Chen Jinping's shoulder. He said, sometimes love is really difficult. I don't know when Cheng Minjing and I can be together. I was about to succeed before, but in the end, it was inexplicably ruined by a split personality. Brother Liang, what do you think? What's done can't be undone. Chen Jinping was really a little anxious. Originally, he thought that Xin Jingxian was in his pocket. It was great to bring the goddess home. But he didn't expect that today's events made him realize that there were still variables. Okay, but you don't have a chance. Xin Jingxian won't agree. Qiao Yuliang said casually. Unless you force yourself. I've also thought about this. If it's done well, it's fine. But if it's not done well, wouldn't my family and the Shen family become mortal enemies? In that case, we are no match for the Shen family. Chen Jinping shook his head and denied this absurd idea. Maybe. Qiao Yuliang's eyes suddenly lit up. He slapped his thigh and said, Jinping, I think it's not impossible if this is handled well. Moreover, it's killing two birds with one stone. Qiao Yuliang had been thinking about how to get rid of Xiaochen. Since Li Shannying did not want to help, he could only think of a way himself. In the end, Chen Jinping suddenly mentioned this matter, which made him feel that it was not impossible. Moreover, not only was it possible to manipulate it, but it could also kill two birds with one stone by putting Xiaochen inside and letting Xiaochen die. What do you mean? Chen Jinping was stunned. He asked in confusion, Brother Liang, how do you kill two birds with one stone? Who do you want to carve? Of course it's Xiaochen. Qiao Yuliang's eyes narrowed, and a sinister look flashed on his face. He said, what if the person who forced himself on you was Xiaochen instead of you? Tell me, whether it's the Chen family or the Shen family, who would let Xiaochen go? Wouldn't they kill him on the spot? Moreover, even if he was killed, no one would be able to say anything. The warrior guild would not interfere either. Ah, Chen Jinping could not help but be dumbfounded. Brother Liang, what you mean is that Xin Jingxian has been played by Xiaochen and has become a broken flower. Then she will marry no one but me? Isn't this nonsense? Even if Xiaochen is dead, I don't like being cuckolded. I will feel disgusted for the rest of my life. You see, otherwise why would I be your boss and you can only be a follower? You are still not good at scheming. Qiao Yuliang smiled and shook his head. You said that it was Xiaochen's doing, but in reality, he would not stop him from doing it, right? Do you know how to frame you? As long as we plan it well, you can pretend to be Xiaochen and get Xin Jingxian. Then you can trick Xiaochen. In this way, all the crimes will be put on Xiaochen's head. He will not be able to defend himself. As for you, you can secretly take advantage of him, and then marry Xin Jingxian. In the future, you can also make Xin Jingxian fall head over heels for you, because she will always feel that she owes you. In fact, it is not a loss at all. F***ck. Brilliant. Chen Jinping praised after listening. Brother Liang, how did you come up with such a good idea? It's amazing. This is a good move. It's like killing three birds with one stone. How did it become three birds? Qiao Yuliang was stunned. Brother Liang, look. Not only did I feel great, I even managed to carve Xin Jingxian here. Then, I also managed to carve the reputation of being a good person who never leaves or abandons me. I even managed to carve Xiaochen to death. Isn't this killing 3 birds with 1 stone? Chen Jinping said. That makes sense. It seems that you are not stupid after all. Chao Yuliang nodded. This matter, with a little planning, it will be possible. NN. Chen Jinping nodded quickly. To be honest, he was already a little impatient. If not for the need to go through careful planning, he wanted to implement it now. Yu Xiaochuan's private villa. Yu Xiaochuan realized that his interest in Xiaosu was getting less and less. On the contrary, his interest in red hair had greatly increased. This strange change made him puzzled. What kind of principle is this? It's impossible. I didn't castrate myself. However, his tone of speaking also began to become softer. Moreover, he was shocked to discover that his chest seemed to have developed a little. Finally, this morning, he completely lost interest in Xiaosu. Although he was interested in red hair, he sadly discovered that even if he was interested, he couldn't get hard. He simply wanted to pick up the soap. This is definitely not right. When this thought came out, Yu Xiaochuan's entire body was simply creeped out. He didn't dare to neglect it. He quickly rushed to the hospital at the first instance to have a physical examination. After waiting for the examination results with great difficulty, Yu Xiaochuan was called to the consultation room alone by the doctor. This doctor was a consultant privately hired by the Yu family, so Yu Xiaochuan wasn't worried that he would leak the secret. Young Master Kun, the problem with your body is a little serious. Dr. Ma looked at Yu Xiaochuan with some worry. He wanted to say something but stopped. Dr. Ma, if you have something to say, just say it. You are also our Yu family's private doctor. Just say what you want to say. Yu Xiaochuan said quickly. It's like this, young Master Kun. With all due respect, do you have a problem with your sexual orientation? Do you want to become a woman? Dr. Ma looked at Yu Xiaochuan's physical examination report and asked carefully. What do you mean? Yu Xiaochuan was stunned. Young Master Kun, this test and the data are written clearly. If you want me to say something, then I will say it. Your body is caused by injecting a large amount of female hormones and drugs used for sex change. This is the same as the drugs and hormones used by those transsexuals and transvestites. Right now, although you have male characteristics, the hormones in your body are seriously out of balance. It is much more than a normal man. Right now your body is about 4/5 female hormones. Dr. Ma said. What? Yu Xiaochuan was shocked after hearing it. It can't be, Dr. Ma. I didn't inject any female hormones. How could this be? I'm not sure how it was caused. I'm just speaking according to the data. Young Master Kun, think about it. Did you do something strange recently? Dr. Ma asked. Recently? There were some things that Yu Xiaochuan could not say. If he had to say what he had done recently, it would be the transfusion of little Sue's blood and the incessant intercourse with little Sue. But the transfusion of little Sue's blood was written in the cultivation notes, and it did not say that he would become a woman. Moreover, it was specifically stated that this method wouldn't change gender. Moreover, there wouldn't be any adverse effects or reactions. How could such a strange situation occur? Young Master Kun, with all due respect, your current body problem is very serious. If you don't treat it as soon as possible, there might be a big problem. If you didn't intend to become a woman, then we have to take some measures. Dr. Ma said. Let's wait for a while. Let me investigate first. Yu Xiaochuan didn't dare to treat it casually. If he treated it, he wouldn't be able to cultivate the chrysanthemum treasure book. Wouldn't all his previous efforts be wasted? Moreover, according to the notes, using this method to cultivate had to be cultivated continuously. If he gave up halfway, then even castration wouldn't solve the problem. The most important thing was that the Lady of Mystery Een couldn't be changed at will. If it was changed to someone else's blood, it was very likely that she would directly die from qi deviation. But now, Yu Xiaochuan suspected that there was a problem with little Sue. All right, young Master Kun. What now? Dr. Ma asked. Dr. Ma, I'll bring another person over. You can check on her and see if there's any problem with her. Yu Xiaochuan said. Sure, no problem. Dr. Ma agreed to it readily. Hence, Yu Xiaochuan called Red Hair and asked him to bring little Sue to the hospital immediately. Red Hair didn't understand what happened. He was doing it with little Sue. He quickly put on his clothes and rushed to the hospital with little Sue. Yu Xiaochuan didn't say much. He just asked Dr. Ma to bring little Sue for a checkup. Little Sue didn't know what to do either. He thought it was just the same as before, to check some indicators in the blood. After the checkup, Dr. Ma came back with the checkup report in his hand. His expression was extremely strange. He looked at Yu Xiaochuan and wanted to say something but stopped. He said, "Young Master Kun, can you come in for a while?" "All right." Yu Xiaochuan nodded and didn't let Red Hair and little Sue in. "Young Master Kun." Dr. Ma didn't know what to say. "Dr. Ma, what's wrong with you? Why are you stuttering? If you have something to say, just say it. Is there a problem with little Sue?" Yu Xiaochuan asked quickly. "Little Sue, in terms of her body's health, there's no problem. It can be said that she is a relatively successful transsexual. And young Master Kun, do you also want to transform into this?" Dr. Ma asked carefully. "Uft, what did you say?" Yu Xiaochuan was shocked. He jumped up from the chair and suddenly widened his eyes. "What do you mean I want to transform? What do I want to transform? You said that little Sue is a transsexual?" Chapter 308. That's right. Xiaosu is a transsexual. Young Master Kun, don't you know? Seeing Yu Xiaochuan's big reaction, Dr. Ma was a little confused. Previously, he thought that Yu Xiaochuan wanted to be a transsexual and brought a successful example to ask him. This example could be used as a reference if there were any adverse effects. But he didn't expect that Yu Xiaochuan didn't seem to know about this. What was going on? Ugh. Yu Xiaochuan thought about how he flirted with a transsexual every day. He almost vomited. He really couldn't understand why Xiaosu was a transsexual. Could it be that a transsexual also had the indicator of being a lady of Xianin? Young Master Kun, what's wrong with you? Dr. Ma was puzzled. Could Yu Xiaochuan be pregnant? AI. This Yu family seemed to be a righteous family, but in fact they were so filthy on the inside. The rich circle was really messy. No. Nothing. Then, what do you think of Xiaosu's indicator? Yu Xiaochuan took a deep breath and passed the indicator of being a lady of Xianin to Dr. Ma and asked, "Oh, this indicator is actually the indicator of hormones. Yours means that the female hormone accounts for more than 98%. Dr. Ma took a look at the indicator code provided by Yu Xiaochuan and said, "In layman's terms, in a normal woman's body, the female hormone accounts for the majority. However, there is still a small amount of male hormone. It is rare to see a person who has more than 95% of female hormone. It is even more impossible to see a person who has more than 100%. "Oh, then what is Xiaosu's indicator?" Yu Xiaochuan asked. 99%. Of course, she must have injected herself with a large amount of female hormone frequently. Otherwise, the ratio wouldn't be so high. Dr. Ma said. F***ck. Yu Xiaochuan wanted to curse. Isn't this F***king a scam? After such a long time, I spent a lot of effort and money to get a transsexual. This is simply a cosmic black hole scam. Young Master Kun, this is. Dr. Ma didn't understand why Yu Xiaochuan would curse. Nothing. Then let me ask. If I castrate myself, will my male hormone decrease and female hormone increase? Yu Xiaochuan suddenly thought of an important question. Yes, that's right. Dr. Ma nodded. Yu Xiaochuan was really speechless this time. He finally understood some things. That was, using Xiaosu to train now was similar to castration training. Self-castration also increased female hormones, and it was the same for him now. Then if a normal woman with a lot of estrogen gives me a blood transfusion, will there be a problem? Of course not. If you say so, then men and women can't transfuse blood. Dr. Ma said. But if you transfuse little Sue's blood, there will definitely be some problems. Her blood seems to be injected with a lot of female hormones every day. From this, it can be seen that she hasn't changed for too long, so she has to be injected every day to maintain it. F***ck. Yu Xiaochuan cursed again. From the looks of it, the cultivation notes were not lying. Being a Xianin maiden was the safest way to cultivate, and Xiaosu was not a F***king Xianin maiden. But AF asterisk King artificial transsexual. Young Master Kun, what's wrong with you? Dr. Ma asked carefully. You don't seem to be in a good mood. Hormonal imbalance will indeed lead to a bad mood. Yu Xiaochuan was frustrated. This Xiaosu really dug a pit for him. He was obviously a man, but he pretended to be a woman. Yet the amount of female hormones in his body was on the high side, which made him mistakenly think that he was a Xianin maiden. However, the most crucial problem now was that Yu Xiaochuan knew that this was the case, but he still couldn't change the person. If he were to change the person, not only would all his previous efforts be wasted, he might even go berserk. Yu Xiaochuan wouldn't do such a risky thing. So for a moment, Yu Xiaochuan's face was a little uncertain. He didn't know how to deal with this matter. But after thinking about it, the safest way was to admit it. Although Yu Xiaochuan felt as disgusted as if he had eaten a fly, he didn't have any other good ideas. He couldn't tell if it was because Xiaosu was a Xianin maiden that had an effect, or if it was the female hormones in Xiaosu's body that had an effect. However, from the looks of it now, the proportion of female hormones should be higher. However, this was just his own guess, and he couldn't be sure. Moreover, this matter didn't have any scientific basis. He didn't dare to tell others. To be safe, he could only continue to make mistakes. Regardless of whether Xiaosu was a Xianin maiden, or whether it was the hormone injected into his body, since Yu Xiaochuan had successfully embarked on the road of cultivation, he wouldn't change it easily. Dr. Ma, if I continue to use female hormones, will I become yours? Yu Xiaochuan hesitated and asked. That's right. Although I can't say that you can become yours, your body's state will definitely be closer to that of a woman, unless you completely do a sex change operation. Dr. Ma said. Alright, I got it. I won't do the operation first, but Dr. Ma, you must keep this a secret. After Yu Xiaochuan finished speaking, he took out a bank card from his pocket and handed it to Dr. Ma. He said, This is your payment for your hard work. Don't mention it, young Master Kun. Don't worry, I'm your Yu family's private doctor. I won't casually say anything. I don't know anything, and you haven't been here before. Dr. Ma said quickly. In fact, Dr. Ma understood the style of these aristocratic children, especially a hypocrite like Yu Xiaochuan. He said one thing and did another. Even if he wasn't given a single cent, he wouldn't dare to say anything. If he angered Yu Xiaochuan, he might just kill him. Alright, I'll leave first. Yu Xiaochuan nodded. He felt disgusted in his heart, and his stomach couldn't help but turn sour. Young Master Kun, why did you call us here? Redhead and Xiaosu waited at the door for a long time, but nothing happened. When they saw Yu Xiaochuan come out, they immediately stood up and greeted him. Nothing much, let's go back. Yu Xiaochuan shook his head, but he didn't expose them. He planned to continue using Xiaosu's blood in the future. As for copulation, he didn't need it. He wasn't disgusted enough. When Xiaosu's value was gone, Yu Xiaochuan decided to get rid of Xiaosu. He wanted to start a fight with Redhead, but after thinking about it, he couldn't blame Redhead. After all, Redhead only spoke based on data. Redhead didn't know there was a problem with Xiaosu. In fact, Yu Xiaochuan knew that Redhead had been secretly fooling around with Xiaosu these days. There were cameras in the villa, so Yu Xiaochuan knew exactly what Redhead and Xiaosu were doing. Yu Xiaochuan was angry at first, but then he thought that he didn't really like Xiaosu. This woman was just a tool that could be used, so he didn't care too much. But later, Yu Xiaochuan realized that he actually liked to peek at Redhead's fight with Xiaosu. Moreover, his eyes were always on Redhead, so he didn't hate Redhead so much. He even fantasized that Xiaosu would become him. Before, Yu Xiaochuan thought that his thoughts were too weird, but now he finally understood. He was starting to change. He was starting to become a sissy who liked men. That night, Elder Tang invited Yu Xiaochuan to his house for dinner. If it was in the past, he would be more than happy to go. After he went, he would be able to interact more with Tang Tang. Who knows, he might even be able to stay the night. But now, he suddenly realized that he had no interest in Tang Tang at all. Not even a little bit. He suddenly felt that Redhead and Xiao Chun were both very handsome. Damn it, Yu Xiaochuan cursed in his heart. If he knew this was going to happen, he would have castrated himself. Now he was neither a man nor a woman, and he even had psychological problems. Even if he still had that thing, it wouldn't be of any use. Yu Xiaochuan drove to the Tang family's house. This time, the guard at the door treated him with great courtesy. However, Yu Xiaochuan was extremely unhappy. Previously, he was looking forward to entering this door and being with Tang Tang again. But now he had no interest in Tang Tang at all. All he had left now was the secret between him and Elder Tang that couldn't be told. Tang Tang, Yu Xiaochuan is here. Go greet him. Elder Tang said as he arrived at Tang Tang's room. Over the past 2 days, Tang Tang hadn't stepped out of the house and hadn't eaten much. She had been depressed the entire time. Elder Tang had no choice but to order someone to bring her food, but she refused to eat. Left with no choice, Elder Tang forced her to eat something while watching her. In reality, Tang Tang wasn't on a hunger strike. She simply couldn't eat. Since Xiaochen said that he would definitely come looking for her one day, what was there for Tang Tang to worry about? However, whenever she thought about pretending to be courteous with Yu Xiaochuan, she felt disgusted. In the past, her impression of Yu Xiaochuan wasn't bad. Although she couldn't say that she liked him, rumors said that Yu Xiaochuan was a gentleman and that he was the leader of the younger generation. Tang Tang felt that she was lucky. At least, she wasn't like Cheng Minjing, who had to marry a hedonistic good-for-nothing. However, who would have thought that the tables would turn? Instead, she felt that Cheng Minjing was the luckiest, and she was the unluckiest. Yu Xiaochuan was simply too shameless. He had already broken off the engagement and given her to Xiaochen. He even allowed Xiaochen to take advantage of her foundation. Now, he refused to admit it and wanted to continue the engagement with her. She had seen shameless people before, but she had never seen someone as shameless as this. It was like slapping herself in the face. Even so, if the Tang family agreed to Yu Xiaochuan's request to resume the engagement, there was nothing Tang Tang could do. Oh, I got it. Tang Tang knew that she couldn't avoid it. If she didn't go, who knew how much her grandfather would annoy her? Tang Tang's affection for the Tang family had already faded. Chapter 309. Once upon a time, she was treated as a disgrace to the Tang family. She was abandoned by the Yu family and kicked out of the Tang family. Now that she was back and looking at her family, she did not feel any sense of kinship at all. Tang Tang followed her grandfather downstairs and arrived at the main entrance of the Tang family home. Just then, Yu Xiaochuan walked in. Xiaochuan, you're here. Today is the Tang family's gathering day. All the descendants of the Tang family will be back for dinner. From now on, you will also be a member of the Tang family. Consider this a chance to familiarize yourself with the environment. Tang Tang, accompany Xiaochuan for a walk around the house. Oh, Tang Tang nodded. Yu Xiaochuan couldn't help but furrow his brows. In the past, he would have happily walked around with Tang Tang to improve their relationship. But now he was too lazy to even look at Tang Tang. He had lost all interest. Instead, he thought of red hair. Forget about the walk. Grandfather Tang, are you free now? I have something to ask you. Yu Xiaochuan didn't even look at Tang Tang as he said this. Oh, that's good. Grandfather Tang was slightly surprised. He actually wanted to talk to Yu Xiaochuan about cultivating the chrysanthemum treasure book. But in his opinion, Yu Xiaochuan had just arrived and would definitely spend some time with Tang Tang. He didn't expect that Yu Xiaochuan wouldn't even look at Tang Tang. This made him feel a little strange. Tang Tang was also surprised. What was wrong with Yu Xiaochuan? He seemed to be indifferent towards her. He didn't even look at her. What did he mean by that? However, this was even better. She was too lazy to feign civility with Yu Xiaochuan. Now, she didn't even need to put on an act. She directly said, Grandfather, since Yu Xiaochuan wants to talk to you about something, I won't bother you anymore. I'll return to my room first. Call me when it's time to eat. That okay? Grandpa Tang nodded and watched Tang Tang leave. After Tang Tang left, Yu Xiaochuan said to Grandpa Tang, Grandpa Tang, there might be something wrong with my body. Something wrong? What do you mean? Grandfather Tang was surprised. Something wrong with your body? Sort of. Yu Xiaochuan nodded his head and said, Although I haven't castrated myself, my sexual orientation and physical condition have changed. I don't like women anymore, and that thing is no longer useful. Instead, I've started to become interested in men. Elder Tang, have you experienced the same thing? Yu Xiaochuan did not hide anything from Grandfather Tang. After all, the two of them practiced the same mantra, so he was not afraid of anyone revealing it. Oh, what's going on? Grandfather Tang was shocked and asked, "What's wrong with you?" "I'm fine with it. I'm not interested in women, but I'm even less interested in men." Yu Xiaochuan sighed and told him about Xiaosu's situation. After all, the two of them had secrets that they could not reveal to others. Even if they were in the same boat, there was no need to hide anything. If he told them about it, old Master Tang could at least help him cover it up. Then you're in big trouble. After Grandfather Tang heard this, he furrowed his eyebrows and couldn't help but worry. With your current physical condition, will Tang Tang leak the secret if you're together? You can't have sex with her, so you can't have sex with her. If that happens, your problem will be exposed sooner or later. I've considered this problem. You and I both practice the same mantra, and I can't possibly not get married. I'll have to get married sooner or later. So it's best for me to marry Tang Tang. If I marry a woman from another family, and something happens, I won't be able to cover it up, Yu Xiaochuan said. But now that something has happened to you, I can cover it up for you. As for Tang Tang, I'm afraid she'll leak it out. If she leaks it, you're done for. Who knows, she might even implicate me. Grandfather Tang's expression was a little ugly. To be honest, Yu Xiaochuan's situation had nothing to do with him. However, he was most afraid that Yu Xiaochuan would be exposed after practicing the chrysanthemum treasured book. If that happened, he would be implicated as well. Then, the gains would not make up for the losses. However, it was impossible for him to reject Yu Xiaochuan's marriage at this moment. If Yu Xiaochuan decided to go all out and spread the news, then Grandfather Tang would really be crippled. So to be on the safe side, Grandfather Tang couldn't reject Yu Xiaochuan's suggestion. He pondered for a moment, then nodded his head and said, "Fine, I'll try my best to cover it up for you. Tang Tang doesn't like you anyway, so it's normal for her to not sleep with you after they get married. But I'm afraid that your Yu family will be pressing me for a grandchild. If it really doesn't work, then I'll let Tang Tang have a child with someone else. That way, we'll be able to cover it up." Yu Xiaochuan gritted his teeth, his eyes flashing with determination. Have a child with someone else? Let's not talk about whether Tang Tang is willing or not. Even if she is willing, if this matter is exposed, it won't be any less serious than us practicing the chrysanthemum treasured book. Both our families will become the laughing stock of the aristocratic families. Grandfather Tang's expression suddenly changed. Don't worry, let her have a child with that *tch Xiaochun, that guy. I think she likes being with Xiaochun a lot. Yu Xiaochuan originally wanted to scold Xiaochun, but the image of Xiaochun appeared in his mind. He suddenly felt that Xiaochun was very handsome. Tang Tang was really lucky. Back then, why didn't he keep the photo of Tang Tang helping Xiaochun with his mouth? If only he had kept it, then he could have imagined that Tang Tang was him. We'll see how it goes. But for the time being, it's best not to expose this matter. Otherwise, it won't do either of us any good, Grandfather Tang warned. Don't worry about this, I'm not an idiot, Yu Xiaochuan said. At dinner time, the second and third generation of the Tang family returned. They all expressed their welcome to Yu Xiaochuan, since Yu Xiaochuan had no competitive relationship with them. And if the marriage was successful, it would be a great help to the Tang family. Naturally, they wanted to have a good relationship with him. Tang Tang sat next to Yu Xiaochuan, but the two of them didn't say a word. This made Tang Tang a little confused. What kind of game was Yu Xiaochuan playing? Or did he think that she would be his sooner or later, so he didn't bother to please her? When the engagement ceremony was over, he would directly push her down. After all, the engagement ceremony wasn't far away. So Tang Tang felt that this might really be a possibility. Only Grandfather Tang knew about Yu Xiaochuan's situation. He couldn't help but sigh in his heart. He didn't have a lot of control over Tang Tang to begin with. If Tang Tang really discovered the secret after the marriage and exposed it, he would probably be dragged into it. He could only hope that Tang Tang would continue to hate Yu Xiaochuan and not take the initiative to have sex with him. He would delay it as long as possible. After dinner, Yu Xiaochuan didn't stay for long and left the Tang family. To his surprise, at the gate of the Yu family, Yu Xiaochuan saw an unexpected person. It was Shen Jinghao from the Shen family. "Uncle Shen, why are you standing here?" Yu Xiaochuan stopped the car and asked. "I'm waiting for you here," Shen Jinghao said with a smile. He wanted to contact the Xie family, so after thinking about it, he could only think of Yu Xiaochuan. Shen Jinghao and Yu Xiaochuan were old friends. When Shen Jinghao wanted to choose a fiancé for Shen Jingxian, he also considered Yu Xiaochuan, because Yu Xiaochuan was also a young talent. Most importantly, the Yu family was also a branch of the famous Yu family. The Yu family was a huge existence comparable to the Shen family, and the Yu family also had a wide range of connections. However, at that time, Yu Xiaochuan also said that he was still engaged to Tang Tang, so it wasn't appropriate for him to find a partner with great fanfare. Shen Jinghao was also anxious, so the matter was left unsettled. However, Yu Xiaochuan was a smart person. Although he didn't have a marriage alliance with the Shen family, he had a good personal relationship with Shen Jinghao. It just so happened that Shen Jinghao could use him. "Waiting for me?" Yu Xiaochuan was slightly surprised, but then he smiled and said, "Uncle Shen, you're too polite. I'm just a junior. How could I let you wait here? If you wanted to find me, I would have come over with a call. Why did you have to wait here?" "Xiaochuan, I don't want to hide it from you. This time, I came to ask for your help," Shen Jinghao said with a smile. "Ask me? Uncle Shen, let's talk in the car." Yu Xiaochuan didn't put on airs, but respectfully invited Shen Jinghao to get in the car, and then said, "Uncle Shen, if there's anything, just say it. If I can help, I will try my best to help." "Well, I heard that you have a good relationship with Wang Xiongzhuang, the young master of the Wang family in the city," Shen Jinghao asked. "Oh yes, we are classmates. He is my senior in the student union. When I was in junior high school, he was in high school. He helped me a lot in school," Yu Xiaochuan said. He didn't evade because Shen Jinghao had probably already investigated his relationship. "Then can you ask him to introduce me to someone from the Xie family? I heard that he is the son-in-law of the Xie family." Shen Jinghao beat around the bush and finally said his purpose. "If that's the case, there should be no problem." After Yu Xiaochuan heard it, he didn't think it was a big deal. It was just a recommendation. For him, it was just a small effort, so he readily agreed. "Uncle Shen, I will call Brother Wang first. I will ask him out. If he agrees, then there will be no problem." "Okay, then I will trouble you, Xiaochuan. I will wait for your good news." Shen Jinghao nodded and was a little happy. He didn't expect Yu Xiaochuan to agree so readily. "No trouble, it's fine." Yu Xiaochuan waved his hand, took out his phone, and dialed Wang Xiongzhuang's number. "Brother, this is Yu Xiaochuan. How is it? Are you free tonight? I will treat you to a drink." "Let's not drink. Your sister-in-law is pregnant. I have to stay at home with her." Wang Xiongzhuang's words were filled with pride and joy. Ever since he was cured of his natural castration by Hero White Fox, he had been full of energy every day. Not long after, his girlfriend became pregnant. This made him surprised and happy. Chapter 310. He thought that he was going to die, but he suddenly had a child. It was a pleasant surprise. "Ah, sister-in-law is pregnant?" Yu Xiaochuan was stunned, and his eyes flashed with disbelief. Although Wang Xiongzhuang didn't tell Yu Xiaochuan about him, according to Yu Xiaochuan's observation, Wang Xiongzhuang was a eunuch, and he had secretly seen Wang Xiongzhuang's medical report, but he didn't expose it. So after hearing Wang Xiongzhuang say that his girlfriend was pregnant, Yu Xiaochuan's first thought was that Wang Xiongzhuang was cuckolded, because Wang Xiongzhuang was impotent. How did his girlfriend get pregnant? But looking at his happy tone, it didn't seem like it. Could it be that he was a father? Yeah, it's an accident, right? Haha, so I can't go out and drink with you. Wang Xiongzhuang smiled and said, "Wait. Then I'll go to your house to see sister-in-law. She's pregnant. It's a happy occasion. I'll go buy some fruits and come over. Senior, wait for me, Yu Xiaochuan said. That's fine, then you come. Wang Xiongzhuang didn't refuse. Yu Xiaochuan and Wang Xiongzhuang had always had a good relationship, so he knew very well that his marriage with the Xie family was only for profit. In fact, it was in name only. He had his own girlfriend, and this girlfriend never left him. So he was very surprised that his girlfriend suddenly got pregnant. Okay, then you guys go to the study room and talk. I won't disturb you here. Seeing that Yu Xiaochuan should have something to talk about, Xiaoling didn't say much. Yu Xiaochuan and Wang Xiongzhuang came to the study room together. Wang Xiongzhuang said, Xiaochuan, you asked me to go out for a drink. Is there something going on? It's not just for fun, right? To be honest, I do have something, but before that, I don't know if I should say something. Yu Xiaochuan suddenly realized that he liked to gossip like a woman. It was simply uncontrollable. What's the matter? Wang Xiongzhuang was stunned. You and I have worked together in the student union for many years. We are quite familiar with each other. What else can't be said? It's like this, sister-in-law. How did you get pregnant? Yu Xiaochuan thought that if Wang Xiongzhuang was cuckolded, then they would have a common language. He also planned to let Tang Tang be cuckolded. How did I get pregnant? I accidentally got pregnant. Wang Xiongzhuang was a little confused and didn't quite understand what Yu Xiaochuan meant. Senior brother, don't play dumb with me. Actually, once I accidentally saw your medical report from the hospital. I know about your situation. I heard that sister-in-law is pregnant, so I rushed over. Senior brother, if there's anything you're unhappy about, you can nag me. Yu Xiaochuan had a curious and gossipy look on his face. Xiaochuan, why are you acting like a woman now? And you speak in a soft voice. Your personality has really changed a lot. Wang Xiongzhuang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He didn't expect Yu Xiaochuan to know about his hidden illness. But he didn't have anything to hide now. Anyway, it was cured. So he said, yes, I did have a problem before. But my Xie family's marriage partner introduced me to a ruthless person. He was a superhuman, and he cured my natural castration. That's simply too miraculous. Just one dose of medicine, and the illness was cured. It's 10,000 times better than any medicine master. Oh, so miraculous? Yu Xiaochuan couldn't help but be a little surprised. He didn't expect there to be such a master. He knew that with the Wang family's relationship, it was not a problem to find some senior pharmacists to treat him. These pharmacists were helpless, but he was actually cured by a superhuman? Yes, it's really amazing, Wang Xiongzhuang said with reverence. This person is not only skilled in medicine, but also a real superhuman. That means tut-tut, killing people invisibly. As for the details, I won't say, because I'm afraid that if I say too much, it will be perceived by the superhuman, and then I'll be killed through the air. Yu Xiaochuan looked inexplicable. He can be killed through the air? Is this person really so powerful? You don't believe it. When you really meet him, you'll know how powerful he is. Don't accidentally offend him. You won't even know how you die. Wang Xiongzhuang patted Yu Xiaochuan's shoulder and reminded him. He used to teach Yu Xiaochuan like this in school. Yu Xiaochuan was still very convinced by his senior's words. He knew that his senior was an upright person, and he had always taught him unreservedly, never hiding anything. So Yu Xiaochuan believed him a little. Is sister-in-law Xie also pregnant? Yu Xiaochuan thought that if Xie was also pregnant, then the relationship between the Wang family and the Xie family would be a step closer, and it would be easier to ask Wang Xiongzhuang for help. Don't talk nonsense. Concubine Xie is not your senior brother's woman. Wang Xiongzhuang suddenly lowered his voice and said mysteriously, Concubine Xie is the woman of that adept god. Otherwise, how could I suddenly find a way to cure my chronic illness after so many years of not having a way? Damn! Yu Xiaochuan's eyes widened. This relationship was messy enough. Then this superhuman is really powerful. Senior, can you help me introduce him? Originally, Yu Xiaochuan came to Wang Xiongzhuang just to help Shen Jinghao build a relationship, but he didn't expect to have an unexpected gain. If this paranormal god is so powerful, Can you solve the problem of your own body? Although Yu Xiaochuan suddenly found that it was good to be a woman, he was also afraid of being exposed. If the fact that he practiced evil martial arts was exposed, then he would be dead. It was simply a big scandal for a prestigious family. Wang Xiongzhuang thought about it. At the beginning, Hero White Fox didn't seem to refuse to help him introduce customers, so he thought about it and said, I can, but this superhuman's remuneration is relatively high, and his temper is a bit weird. It's okay. Yu Xiaochuan nodded again and again. That's fine. You remember, you can't call him superhuman in front of him. Wang Xiongzhuang reminded, this name is for us to say. It's not good to say it in front of him. Okay, what should I call him? Yu Xiaochuan asked. You should call him Hero White Fox. Wang Xiongzhuang said. What? Yu Xiaochuan was stunned after hearing it, and then suddenly widened his eyes. Hero White Fox? Yes, what's wrong? Wang Xiongzhuang was a little puzzled by Yu Xiaochuan's reaction. He is on the Warrior Guild's mission commissioning platform. Is his codename White Fox? Yu Xiaochuan asked. Yes, that's right. How did you know? Wang Xiongzhuang probably knew something about White Fox. The Xie family's mission to find the child was posted on the Warrior Guild's platform. Later, it was accepted by White Fox. I know him, and we've worked together a few times. I should be quite familiar with him. Yu Xiaochuan jumped up. So he is the superhuman? Damn, I really don't know that I'm guarding a treasure mountain. I didn't even think about having such a powerful person by my side. Speaking of this, Yu Xiaochuan picked up his phone and entered the Warrior Guild's mission platform. He sent a private message to White Fox and said, Hero White Fox, are you there? What? Xiaochuan replied. That, my senior is Wang Xiongzhuang. I wonder if Hero has any impression of him? Yu Xiaochuan asked. Oh, I know. Isn't he my woman's husband in name? Why are you looking for me? If you have something to say, say it. Don't try to get close to me. Xiaochuan replied. It's like this. I've been having some problems with my body recently. There's too much estrogen in my body. I've become a little like a woman. Also, the toilet isn't working well. Can you help me treat it? Yu Xiaochuan asked. Xiaochuan glanced at the private message on his phone and almost replied. That's great. But he still said, 1. Stop using the estrogen. 2. Go to the hospital for a sex change operation. Hero White Fox, aren't you a superhuman? Can't you help me think of a way? I can't stop the estrogen for the time being. And I don't want to have a sex change. Although Yu Xiaochuan replied this way, he suddenly thought that it was actually quite good to be a woman, wasn't it? You want to cultivate the chrysanthemum treasure book. And that's it. How can there be such a good thing in this world? I can't help you. Xiaochuan said. When Yu Xiaochuan saw the words chrysanthemum treasure book on the screen, his face suddenly stiffened. Hero White Fox actually knew that he was cultivating the chrysanthemum treasure book? How did he know? Could it be that, when he asked him to translate the demonic text, and asked him how to find the Lady of Mysterious Een, he had already guessed it? Hero White Fox, how did you know? Could it be that you also cultivated it? Yu Xiaochuan's face was a little pale. If this matter was exposed, it would be a fatal blow to him. But if Hero White Fox also cultivated it, then they would be on the same path. Not only would they not need to hide it, but they could also learn from each other. The chrysanthemum treasure book is too trashy. I don't want to cultivate it. I'm a superhuman. Do you have anything else? No, I'm busy. Xiaochuan said impatiently. Trashy. Yu Xiaochuan couldn't help but smile bitterly. Perhaps only superhumans would think that the chrysanthemum treasure book was trashy? It seemed that superhumans were really amazing existences. However, after listening to the other party, Yu Xiaochuan wasn't worried anymore. It seemed that Hero White Fox didn't care about the chrysanthemum treasure book at all, so he was probably too lazy to tell others. Besides, superhumans were very amazing, and they didn't seem to casually talk about gossip. If he hadn't heard about the matter between concubine Xia and White Fox from Wang Xiongzhuang today, it seemed that White Fox's secrecy measures were quite good. Then Hero White Fox, let's keep in touch. This time, Yu Xiaochuan didn't want to cut off contact with Hero White Fox. This person was really amazing, and he had to be on good terms with him. Maybe he could help him at a critical moment. Chapter 311. Xiaochen simply ignored him. Seeing that Yu Xiaochuan was sending messages non-stop, Wang Xiongzhuang was somewhat puzzled. When Yu Xiaochuan finished, he asked, "Xiaochuan, what are you doing?" "Nothing. I'm just contacting Master White Fox to confirm it. It's indeed the one I know. However, I didn't know that Master White Fox was so awesome. All the troubles I went to him to solve were small ones." Yu Xiaochuan waved his hand and said, "That's right. I came to see you this time, mainly to ask you to introduce someone from the Xie family. I have an elder who wants to do some business with the Xie family. Senior brother, do you think you can help me? Just ask them out. Anyway, it's up to them whether or not the business is successful. I'm just a middleman." "Xiaochuan, since you've asked, it's definitely not a problem." Wang Xiongzhuang did not take it seriously. It was a piece of cake for him. He had cooperated with the Xie family before. The one he had more contact with was a man named Xie Chen from the second branch of the Xie family. Of course, he was also in touch with Emperor Xie. After all, Emperor Xie was his brother-in-law in name. This time, the person he planned to contact was Emperor Xie. After all, Xie Chen was just an errand boy in the Xie family and did not have the final say. "Okay. Thank you, senior brother." Now that it was done, Yu Xiaochuan did not want to stay any longer. "Senior brother, when you're done, call me anytime. I'm always free. I won't disturb your rest anymore. I'll go back now." "Okay, I'll call you." Wang Xiongzhuang agreed quickly. 2 flowers bloom, each with its own branch. This morning, Xiaochen drove to school. Of course, he had to go to the Cheng family to pick up Cheng Minjing and Jean Beibei first. They had taken his car to school yesterday, so he naturally had to pick them up today. "Beibei, why are you so slow? Don't you know that the school is far from here? Do you want to be late?" Cheng Minjing dragged Jean Beibei to Xiaochen's car quickly. Cousin Minjing, stop pulling me. I'm so full that I can't walk anymore." Jean Beibei staggered forward. "Who asked you to eat so much? You ate so much yesterday, and you still ate so much this morning. Are you freeloading?" Cheng Minjing quickened her pace, causing Jean Beibei to stumble. That's right, it's free food." Jean Beibei nodded. "It'll be a waste if I don't eat it. Right, Cousin Minjing? It's great that you're celebrating your birthday. There are so many delicious dishes. Why don't you suggest to the family that we celebrate your birthday every day? You can also receive more gifts. Why don't you celebrate your birthday every day? Wouldn't I be in my 70s and 80s before long?" Cheng Minjing glared at Jean Beibei. "It's not enough for me to celebrate my birthday once a year. I will always be 18. Jean Beibei said, "When you grow older, you will like mature girls, those with big breasts and perky buttocks like Beibei." Cheng Minjing rolled her eyes at her and ignored her. The two of them got into the car while chatting. Jean Beibei sat in the passenger seat. The moment she got into the car, Jean Beibei looked around and sniffed. Then she said exaggeratedly, "Holy *T. Cousin, did you and Sister Jingxian have sex in the car last night?" "What do you mean?" Xiaochen was surprised. He asked calmly, "Did Jean Beibei notice something? That was impossible. Look, there are traces of dried liquid here. There's also a weird smell." Jean Beibei pointed at the seat and said, "No clue can escape Detective Bei 007's eyes." Xiaochen was greatly alarmed. Was it really caused by Goddess Shin when she was in love last night? However, Xiaochen did not show it on the surface, showing doubt on his face. "Detective Bei 007? Beibei, you must have watched too many TV dramas on your tablet last night." Cheng Minjing did not believe Jean Beibei's words. How could Jingxian have fallen for Xiaochen? He is just my servant. Besides, the car was given by Li Shannying. It must have been done by the disgusting Li Shannying. "Oh, is that so?" Jean Beibei scratched her head. "I thought that it was Sister Jingshuan's car. If so, it's fine. Chances are that you will have multiple batches with us in the future, and it will be hard for you to complain. But if it is Li Shanning's woman, it will be truly disgusting." While talking, Jean Beibei picked up a napkin and threw it on the seat before she sat down. Cheng Minjing was immediately rendered speechless. What kind of nonsense was that? Shen Jingxian did not complain. Multiple batches? What kind of idea was that? Tell Grandpa Jean to beat you up. However, Xiao Chen did not dare to say anything, because he was guilty. Suddenly, he felt that he did not know how to deal with the relationship between Shen Jingxian and the eldest lady. The eldest lady thought that it was impossible for them to be together. But although Xiao Chen was no longer the eldest lady's fiancé, he still felt that he had wronged the eldest lady somehow. After they arrived at the school, Xiao Chen walked to the familiar seat. He had mixed feelings when he saw that his deskmate was Song Huawu instead of Tang Tang. Hey, was Cheng Minjing's birthday party last night fun? Song Huawu only glimpsed at Xiao Chen, and then continued to read her book without raising her eyes. However, her voice came over. It was fine. I don't believe that you did not receive the news, said Xiao Chen casually. I did. Did you pretend to be an idiot named Chao Yuliang? Asked Song Huawu. Why do you say that? Asked Xiao Chen. I felt that it was you, said Song Huawu. Did anyone else feel it? Xiao Chen continued to ask. No, said Song Huawu. By the way, I heard that Songning City will hold a small summit between the two factions. It will be held soon, said Xiao Chen. Oh, Yi Xiaoya told you that? Song Huawu was stunned. Sure enough. Yes, but Yi Xiaoya told my other identity White Fox, said Xiao Chen. She wants you to go too? Asked Song Huawu. Yes, she wants me to help. Xiao Chen did not deny it. At that time, Song Huawu would definitely go, so she would be able to see it. There was no meaning for Xiao Chen to hide it. Will you go too? I should go. Song Huawu nodded. Are you representing the Demon Gate? Xiao Chen said. But what's the use of you going? Can you stop the conflict between the two gangs? That's not possible. I'm just going to be a witness and keep things under control, Song Huawu said. In the secular world, no matter which force fights, they will be restricted by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. After I go, I can prove that the grievances of this summit will end here. No matter which side has casualties, they can't take revenge afterwards. What's the use of that? Xiao Chen felt that Song Huawu was a little nosy. What does the grievances of these people have to do with you? At least it's useful in the secular world. In their own territory, I won't be bothered if I don't see it, said Song Huawu. Okay. Xiao Chen felt that Song Huawu was purely deceiving herself. By the way, let me remind you, don't offend anyone when you go. That Yi Xiaoya is not a good person. Don't use you as a weapon. Song Huawu reminded. It's fine to watch the fun. If there's a fight, it's not good for you to be hated by others. Thank you for the reminder. Xiao Chen didn't think that Yi Xiaoya was a bad person. On the contrary, he felt that Yi Xiaoya's heart was still very good. At least, she could teach him the mantra and martial arts of her sect. This was very rare. Ordinary people couldn't do it. Song Huawu saw that Xiao Chen was perfunctory. She knew that she had said too much, so she stopped talking and continued to read her book. After class, Lu Zhenming came over mysteriously. He secretly took out a small box and handed it to Xiao Chen. He said, Xiao Chen, thank you so much yesterday. This is a piece of ancient jade. Please accept it. Oh. Xiao Chen was stunned. He didn't expect Lu Zhenming to be so efficient. It was much better than that Li Shannying. That guy was slow and hesitant. How could he be as straightforward as Lu Zhenming? In the future, Xiao Chen will need more help. Hee. I guess that idiot Chao Yuliang found out that the big rose he gave turned into a small green onion yesterday. He was so angry that he said so many stupid words. It's really awesome. Lu Zhenming looked very happy. In this way, Chao Yuliang doesn't have a big chance. Xiao Chen, you help me work hard. I have a good chance. Oh, okay. That depends on your performance. I'm in need of ancient jade recently. Xiao Chen nodded. No problem. I'll try my best to help Xiao Chen get some. For the Lu family, ancient jade, ancient paintings, ancient books, and ancient bowls were almost the same. Anyway, they were all things of elegance. If they could give it to Xiao Chen and let Xiao Chen help them pick up girls, it would be worth it. Xiao Chen took the small box and felt it. There was indeed spiritual energy in it, but not much. However, Xiaochen was now hungry. This was already very good, so he said, "Okay, then I'll take it." In the next day, nothing special happened, except that Xiaochen received a message from Yu Xiaochuan when he went home. He didn't know whether Yu Xiaochuan's situation was temporary, or would be like this in the future. What if he recovered in the future? So Xiaochen was thinking about how to trick Yu Xiaochuan into going to the hospital for a sex change operation directly. It was better to transform directly to be safe. In this way, he didn't have to worry about him doing bad things to her. But these things couldn't be rushed. When Yu Xiaochuan asked him for help, he could trick him step by step. After decocting the medicinal materials, Xiaochen began to cultivate with the ancient jade that Lu Zhenming gave him. Now, Xiaochen was already a cultivator at the peak of the 5th level of the qi refinement stage. He was only one step away from the 6th level. But this step was very difficult to cross. After cultivating for a while, Xiaochen found that his strength was progressing very slowly. Or it could even be said that there was no progress. Xiaochen also found that if he wanted to break through, he must have a spiritual jade with a very high content of spiritual energy. If the level of the spiritual jade was not up to the standard, then he needed an opportunity to break through. For example, in the previous battle with the Old Witch of Shishan, Xiaochen had entered a state of extreme. Chapter 312. As for now, the spiritual qi in the ancient jade was thin, and there was no opportunity for him to fight. Xiaochen could only use it to consolidate his strength. It was impossible for him to make a breakthrough. After the herbs were decocted, Xiaochen took the medicine and went to the courtyard. He began to practice the dark flame palm. Anyway, no matter how he practiced, he might as well use the dark flame palm instead. At present, the 5th style of the dark flame palm could be successfully practiced anytime, anywhere, but the 6th style couldn't. Xiaochen found that out of 10 times, he could only succeed 8 times, and there were still 2 times where he failed. And this was mainly because he wasn't familiar with it. After Xiaochen's punches and kicks, the success rate had increased a lot. Of course, Xiaochen didn't use all of his strength, but he did it with reservation. The purpose of this was to save his physical strength and true qi, so he could use it a few more times. But when facing the enemy, he couldn't do the same. If he held back, the power of the martial skill wouldn't reach its peak. The 5th style might only have the power of the 4th, or even the 3rd or 2nd style, which wouldn't cause any damage to the enemy. And after the activation, it was impossible to improve the power, unless he activated it again. After one night of practice, Xiaochen could already activate the 6th style of the dark flame palm 100%. This was a pleasant surprise. But Xiaochen wasn't satisfied with the 6th style of the dark flame palm at this moment. Now Xiaochen's strength was at the peak of the 5th level of the qi refinement stage. His real strength was equivalent to a martial artist at the peak of the 6th level of the inner force stage. But it was reasonable to say that a cultivator should be stronger. So, could he activate the 7th style of the dark flame palm? But tonight, Xiaochen didn't experiment, because the exercise just now had consumed most of his physical strength and true qi. Now he had to go back to practice and restore his physical strength. The next morning, Xiaochen was making breakfast for Cheng Minjing. To be honest, he really wasn't used to not going to the morning market every day. Life seemed to be a lot more comfortable and leisurely. Xiaochen wasn't short of money for the time being. It seemed like he had really become the Missy's full-time male servant. After Yi Xiaoya was done with her flowers and plants, she entered the villa. She saw Xiaochen cooking, so she walked over and said, "Hey, bring me a portion." "No problem." Xiaochen was cooking noodles. Anyway, one more person just meant one more bowl of noodles. He didn't have any noodles yet, so he was mixing the soup. "By the way, have you cultivated the mantra that I gave you?" Yi Xiaoya asked. "Yes, but I haven't comprehended it yet," Xiaochen said. He hadn't comprehended the 7th style dark flame palm. Oh, Rome wasn't built in a day. If you have any questions, you can ask me. You have missed the best cultivation age. To be honest, Even if you go through body tempering now, it will be difficult for you to achieve anything in a short period of time. Yeah, I'm not in a hurry. Xiaochen nodded, but he smiled bitterly in his heart. If I didn't miss it, I wouldn't have any achievements. So I changed my mind and cultivated. When the noodles were cooked, Xiaochen secretly filled a bowl for Yi Xiaoya. As a result, it was seen by Miss Cheng, who was yawning downstairs. Xiaochen. Cheng Minjing was angry. Why did you give it to her? What's wrong with giving it to me? He is willing to give it to me. Can't he like me? Yi Xiaoya didn't hide it. She took the noodles from Xiaochen and looked at Cheng Minjing coldly. You. Cheng Minjing was so angry that she couldn't say anything because of Yi Xiaoya. After a while she said, "She is my servant. You can't control your man, but you still complain. What kind of ability is that?" Yi Xiaoya curled her lips and said mockingly, You. Cheng Minjing was so angry that she saw stars. She was a little confused. Just you wait. When Jean Bebe comes. Oh, that's all you can do. If you can't beat her, ask your cousin for help. Yi Xiaoya shook her head sarcastically. She took a bite of the noodles and said, "It's so delicious. I want to eat it tomorrow." Xiaochen, if you still dare to make breakfast for her tomorrow, I will. Cheng Minjing suddenly couldn't think of any punishment. She wanted to ask him to deduct his salary, but on second thought, she didn't give Xiaochen a penny at all. What will you do? Won't you pay him? Sorry, I think you have never paid him. Yi Xiaoya said calmly. You want to fire him? Great, then I will take it. Xiaochen, from tomorrow on, you will be my servant. I will not only pay you, but also teach you martial arts. Do you think I'm beautiful? You still have a chance to pursue me. You are shameless. Cheng Minjing was about to explode in anger. A shameless tree will definitely die, but a shameless man is invincible. My ultimate dream is to be invincible. Thank you, Yi Xiaoya said indifferently. Xiaochen, I order you not to cook for her tomorrow. Cheng Minjing couldn't win against Yi Xiaoya, so she could only start with Xiaochen. Okay. Xiaochen couldn't help it. He could only smile bitterly. I really don't know what to say. Some people, just because they are someone else's ex-fiancée goddess, they just order them around. One day, you see that Xiaochen doesn't like you anymore. You are nothing. Yi Xiaoya sneered. I don't believe that you will never be engaged to someone else. If you are engaged to someone else, do you think Xiaochen will still care about you? As soon as the engagement was mentioned, Cheng Minjing was furious. Yesterday's birthday party almost became a blind date. Cheng Minjing almost became Chao Yuliang's fiancé. Thinking of this matter, Cheng Minjing felt annoyed. Now that Yi Xiaoya mentioned it, Cheng Minjing didn't refute. Instead, she was silent. That's right. Why would Xiaochen treat me so well? It's not wrong for me to take him in. But Xiaochen can drive a luxury car and live in a house without me with the prize money he has won now. Why does he still need to be a servant here? At the very least, even if he opens a stall in the morning market, with Xiaochen's craftsmanship, it's not a problem to earn more than 10,000 or even tens of thousands of yuan a month. He was still staying by her side, silently accommodating her. Did he like her? Not knowing why, thinking of this, Cheng Minjing's face was slightly red, and her heart was slightly happy. Do I really treat him as a servant? It seems that I don't. Except for occasionally ordering him. It seems that I really don't look down on him. This Yi Xiaoya is really too hateful, sowing dissension. What? Put out the fire? Nothing to say. After Yi Xiaoya finished eating the noodles, she took her mobile phone upstairs and played while walking. Xiaochen. Cheng Minjing wanted to say sorry to him. She didn't mean to be arrogant in front of him, but suddenly she thought that he once pursued Shen Jingxian and teased Lin in front of her. It's simply unforgivable. If he just saw my good side and knows that he cares about me, I can't give him a good look. Otherwise he will be too arrogant. Xiaochen looked at Cheng Minjing's blushing face and thought that she was flushed because of anger. So he said, Minjing, don't be angry. Yi Xiaoya is actually not a bad person. This is my fault, okay? I won't make it for her tomorrow. Of course, Xiaochen thought that it would be better to make it for Yi Xiaoya in advance tomorrow. Anyway, she woke up early. She wouldn't be caught by Miss again. Anyway, Miss was concerned about her face. It would be fine to let her face go. In fact, for a long time, Xiaochun was so accommodating to Chung Minjing because he felt that he owed her in the past. She was his fiancée, but he went to pursue her best friend. How bad of a fiancé was he to do such a thing? It was one thing to do it in secret, but she did it in front of him. Chung Minjing had already given him a lot of face by not going berserk and kicking him. Therefore, after interacting with the eldest miss for a long time, and thinking through these things, Xiaochun usually gave in to the eldest Mississippi. It's nothing. Then you let her buy groceries. You can make one for her. Chung Minjing wanted to apologize to Xiaochun, but she didn't expect Xiaochun to apologize first. This made Miss Heart soften. She was not a bad person. She was a very kind person. At this time, she couldn't insist anymore. She can't eat for free, right? If she wants to eat, she will join us. Okay, then I will talk to her. Xiaochun nodded. Eat the noodles. It will be cold in a while. Chung Minjing nodded and ate the noodles. After a while, she looked up at Xiaochun. Hey, do you not want me to marry Chao Yuliang? Xiaochun was slightly stunned and looked at Miss inexplicably. Bebe told me that Chao Yuliang was disguised by you with magic yesterday. At that time, I was too happy. Later, I thought about it carefully. It doesn't seem right. If it was you, it would make sense. Chung Minjing said. But you are bad. You even destroyed Meng Chang's marriage. So you know. Yeah, didn't you ask me to destroy it? I won't be shocked if I don't say it like this, said Xiaochun. It's obvious that you don't like Meng Chang and don't want your sister to marry him, said Chung Minjing. Haha, you saw through me. Xiaochun didn't deny it and said with a smile. Of course. I am such a genius and have sharp eyes. How can I not see through it? Said Chung Minjing proudly. After finishing the noodles, Xiaochun drove Chung Minjing to school. Just as they were about to get into the car, the young mistress suddenly thought of the liquid Bebe mentioned yesterday. She lowered her head to take a look, and indeed she saw something. The young miss had grown up and was no longer a little girl. She could clearly distinguish the traces that looked like dried mucus. She immediately felt a little uncomfortable and guessed whose it was. Could it be Bibi's own? A thief calling a thief. This girl would probably do it too. What are you doing? Why don't you get in the car? Just when Xiaochun asked, he suddenly thought of what Jean Bebe said yesterday. So he said, I will wash the car seat later. Oh, Chung Minjing looked even more carefully. It seemed to be done only a few days ago. That's not right. Chapter 313. Logically speaking, it shouldn't be Li Shannying's doing. Could it be Jean Bebe? Thinking that it was Jean Bebe who did it, Chung Minjing didn't think there was any problem. She followed Jean Bebe's example and put a napkin on it before sitting down. Xiaochun's mouth twitched a little. If Missy knew that it was Shen Jingshuan's doing, how would she feel? Would she kick me to death? Xiaochun realized that he didn't seem to care about anything when he was Missy's fiancé. Now that he wasn't, he felt guilty instead. Shen Jinghao contacted Xie Huang and Xie Chen of the Xie family through Yu Xiaochuan's relationship. The place to treat them was naturally the Azure Heavenly Palace Hotel, which was one of the largest hotels in Songning City. Mr. Xie, Manager Xie. I'm Shen Jinghao from the Shen family. It's nice to meet you. Shen Jinghao saw the door of the private room was pushed open, and two people walked in. It was Xie Huang and Xie Chen who Yu Xiaochuan told him about. He quickly got up and greeted them. Mr. Shen is too polite. Xie Huang was still very polite to Shen Jinghao. After all, the reputation of the Shen family was there, so he wouldn't casually take advantage of it. You are the elder of me and Xiaochun. We will call you Uncle Shen. Well said, well said. Then I will be an uncle. Shen Jinghao didn't expect the meeting to go so smoothly. Please sit down and see what you want to eat. Uncle Shen, do as you please. Wang Xiongzhuang also said that Uncle Shen has something to talk to us about. Then just say it. We don't need to be too polite. Xie Huang waved his hand and said, All right, I will say it. Shen Jinghao waved his hand to the waiter and gestured for her to bring a table of his specialty dishes. Then after she left, he said, It's like this. The Shen family needs a batch of medicinal herbs now, but the warrior market can't solve it. The Xie family is the supplier of the warrior market, and also one of the top business families in the province. I wonder if you have any way to help me get a batch of medicinal herbs? The price can be negotiated. Medicinal herbs? That depends on what medicinal herbs they are. The Xie emperor said. I won't hide it from Uncle Shun. If we can help, we will. After all, we're doing business. We'll do it the normal way. But I want to see what you need first. The list is here, please have a look. Shen Jinghao took out his list and handed it to Xie Huang. The Xie emperor glanced at it and handed it over to Xie Chen. The reason why he brought Xie Chen along was that Xie Chen was responsible for the specific execution of the procurement of medicinal herbs, while the Xie emperor was only responsible for general matters. Xie Chen looked at it for a while and could not help but shake his head and say, Uncle Shun, I have never heard of many of the medicinal ingredients on your list. Occasionally, I have heard of them, but they are also extremely rare. They are not things that can be purchased through normal channels. Shen Jinghao could only smile bitterly. That's right. If it were ordinary herbs, I wouldn't have to go through so much trouble. Xie family, do you have any way to get them? I've said it before, price is not a problem. I can only say that we should try. If we are willing to pay any price, we should be able to get one or two of them. However, it will only be a small amount. We still won't be able to get most of them, Xie Chen said. Okay, as much as you can get. For this result, Shen Jinghao was somewhat disappointed, but he was not surprised. After all, the warriors' market also said the same thing. Now Shen Jinghao could only hope that when the time comes, many a little makes a mickle, and see if there are other ways to collect some. Well, this is not a problem. Uncle Shun, wait for our news. The Xie emperor nodded and made a decision. Anyway, the benefits of helping the Shen family at all costs were still great for the Xie family. This kind of profit could be doubled, so why not? Next, when they were eating, the atmosphere was more pleasant. When Shen Jinghao learned that the Xie emperor was married and had children, he suddenly felt that it was a pity. Now it seemed that the Xie family's ability was still very strong. If Shen Jingxian was not engaged to Chen Jinpeng, getting engaged to the Xie family was also a good choice. As for Xie Chen, it was obvious that the Xie family did not focus on training him. Shen Jinghao did not consider marrying him, although Xie Chen did not have a girlfriend yet. When Xiao Chen was at school, he received a text message from Yi Bia. How are your preparations? The Righteous and Demonic Summit is about to be held. The disciples of the famous righteous and demonic sects are on the way to Songning City. Some have already arrived. So soon? Xiao Chen did not expect that Yi Xiaoye just said a few days ago that the summit would begin today. So he quickly asked, where is it? I will arrange the time in advance. The location is the martial arts school rented from the Zheng family. The time starts at 6 o'clock every night. After all, it is not something that can be done in public, so it can only be done at night. Yi Bia said. Okay, I got it. Xiao Chen was very happy. It would be great if it was at night, so he didn't have to ask for leave during the day, and the young lady could easily see the problem. But it did not matter if it was at night. He could just find a reason to go out with the young lady, such as to see Tang Tang. Is there any problem? Yi Bia confirmed. If there is no problem, I will sign you up. By the way, what level of internal strength are you at? I need to register. The peak of the 6th level, Xiao Chen said. He could not say that he was at the peak of the 5th level. The strength of a cultivator and a devil cultivator were not on the same level. What? You are already at the peak of the 6th level? Are you kidding me? Yi Xiaoye was a little confused. She had been working so hard for a while, but she just became a devil cultivator at the 5th level of internal strength. But White Fox was already at the peak of the 6th level. After all, when the two of them were partners, their strength was almost the same, wasn't it? They were both devil cultivators at the 4th level. How could White Fox suddenly be so much ahead? Whether it is a joke or not, you will know when we meet. Xiao Chen sent a smiley face. See, you are lying to me. Yi Xiaoye could not figure out how White Fox's strength improved so fast. Did he hide his strength before? No way. Hiding his strength at the moment of life and death. How stupid would he be? In Songming No. 1 Middle School, Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping had already begun to discuss how to kill Xiao Chun. The engagement with Xin Jingxian was postponed indefinitely, which made Chen Jinping even more determined to do what was done. He must push her down. He must push her down. If he did not push her down, he might miss the opportunity to be with the goddess. Chen Jinping was already a little crazy. He hated Xiao Chun for making him a cuckold. He wanted to kill Xiao Chun. Jinping, is everything arranged? Chao Yuliang lowered his voice and said to Chen Jinping, I have arranged everything here. I will wait for your orders. Xiao Chun, you go and record it first. You must record conclusive evidence. Xin Jingxian cannot wear clothes. Then tell me when you are done. I will rush over with my men and make sure that Xiao Chun dies without a burial place. Video without clothes, but if Jingxian is naked, it will not be good if Xiao Chun sees it. Won't I be at a disadvantage? Chen Jinping was not very happy. Xiao Chun is going to die soon. Why are you arguing with a dead man? In the future, when you and Xin Jingxian have sex, there might be ghosts watching you. Chao Yuliang scolded. This is true. Chen Jinping thought that Xiao Chun was going to die. What was there for a dead man? If he saw it, then so be it. Just treat it as a feast for his eyes before he died. And at that time, don't make any mistakes. Have you bought the medicine? Chao Yuliang said. I have bought it. It is imported from Neon. Gaga, it is very effective. After eating it, you have to have sex. Otherwise you will die. Even if Shen Jingxian knows that I am Xiao Chun, she will have to do it against her will. Chen Jinping said proudly. That's good. These plans must be closely linked. This time, Xiao Chun must die. Chao Yuliang said. At that time, the Chen family will inevitably unite with the Shin family to denounce Xiao Chun. I will find a way to unite with the Cheng family to add fuel to the fire. Xiao Chun will definitely not survive at that time. If the Cheng family is adding fuel to the fire, then Xiao Chun must be dead. Chen Jinping was overjoyed after hearing it. He didn't expect Chao Yuliang to be so powerful. Could it be that the Chao family and the Cheng family have reached an agreement behind the scenes, and Chao Yuliang is going to propose marriage successfully? And let's go through the process again. Don't make any mistakes. The reason why Chao Yuliang mentioned the Cheng family was because he knew that Cheng Mingqiang would definitely help. In the evening, after school, Chen Jinping asked the hacker he contacted in advance to simulate Xiao Chen's mobile phone number and sent a short message to Xin Jingxian. These would be evidence in the future. Chen Jinping's plan this time was thoughtful, and it was closely linked to each other. Jingxian, I'm looking for you tonight. I have something very important to tell you. Please be sure to come to number 18 Silu Street. I have booked that place. You can come directly. Silu Street was a relatively famous commercial street. There were a lot of commercial buildings here. The reason why he chose this place was that if he went to a remote place, Shen Jingxian would definitely be suspicious. But if he went to Silu Street, she wouldn't be suspicious. On Silu Street, there were several relatively old villas that were transformed into leisure clubs and love residences. They were rented to the public. As long as you paid the rent, it was yours. In fact, it was similar to a daily rental villa. It was just that it was used to discuss business, dating, and gathering with friends. It had more atmosphere and feeling. Number 18 Silu Street was a villa, but it wasn't a love residence. It was a leisure club. Chen Jinping chose this place because he was afraid that Xin Jingxian would think that it was a love residence and wouldn't go there. Of course, he was also afraid that Xin Jingxian wouldn't go there, so he still prepared a backup plan. Of course, if Xin Jingxian went there, he wouldn't need to use a backup plan. On Xin Jingxuan's mobile phone, Chen Jinping also tampered with it. When Xin Jingxian replied to Xiao Chen's text message, it would be directly forwarded to Chen Jinping. As for the voice call, it would be directly blocked, indicating that the other party's line was busy or turned off. In short, it wouldn't allow her to contact Xiao Chen. Chapter 314. Shen Jingxian looked at the text message she received with some surprise. Xiao Chen actually asked me out? In fact, it wasn't a big deal for couples to date each other. Shen Jingxian also had friends around her who would go on dates. It was just that Shen Jingxian hadn't gone on dates yet. Of course, with Chen Jinping, at least Shen Jingxian didn't think it was a date. She didn't have any feelings of heartbeat. She didn't like Chen Jinping at all. She just reluctantly dealt with it. But now, Xiao Chen actually sent a text message to ask her out on a date. Shen Jingxian couldn't help but be a little nervous. At this moment, her heartbeat was slightly accelerated. However, on the surface, she looked around calmly. When she made sure no one was paying attention to her, she was relieved. It was like a thief, which made Shen Jingxian feel a little guilty. She wanted to reply a few more words and ask why Xiao Chen asked her out. But she was afraid that the phone would be seen by others. She was also afraid that Xiao Chen's phone would be seen by Cheng Minjing. She couldn't explain it. So after hesitating for a while, Shen Jingxian replied with a few words. Well, I will go over when I have time. What can't you say over the phone? This kind of reply was ambiguous, but Shen Jingxian believed that Xiao Chen would definitely be able to understand her meaning. She had agreed to his request. Towards his request, she had never rejected it, even if it was very excessive. It was just that such a reply wouldn't be a problem even if others saw it. Sure enough, while Chen Jinping was waiting anxiously, he finally received Shen Jingshuan's reply text message. He was really afraid that Shen Jingxian would refuse, but with his understanding of Shen Jingshuan's character, she was a very kind and good person. Since Xiao Chen said it so seriously, Shen Jingxian should go. Sure enough, although Shen Jingxian didn't explicitly say whether she would go or not, it should be about time. Chen Jinping quickly replied, "You will know when you go. I will wait for you there. If you don't come, I will wait for one night." Shen Jingxian saw Xiao Chen's reply, and she suddenly felt a little dumbfounded. How could I not go? However, Shen Jingxian just replied, "Okay." She didn't say anything else. Instead, she sent a text message to her father, Shen Jinghao, telling him that she would go back late at night, and that Cheng Minjing had an appointment with her. After this text message was sent, Shen Jingxian felt that she had become too bad now. She actually lied to her father and used her best friend as an excuse. However, Shen Jinghao just happened to have an appointment with Xia Huang and Xia Chen to go to the entertainment city invested by the Shen family in the evening, so he didn't care. In the blink of an eye, it was time for school to end. Shen Jingxian stopped a car at the school gate. Chen Jinping drove a Land Rover and appeared beside Shen Jingxian. He deliberately prepared this car. His purpose was to stop at the gate of the villa and let the video at the gate of the villa record it. Then he would frame Xiao Chen. Otherwise, when Xiao Chen said that he came later, it would be a little difficult to deal with. Chen Jinping took great pains to kill Xiao Chen this time. Shen Jingxian looked at this familiar car and couldn't help but be stunned. When she saw Chen Jinping in the driver's seat, she was even more puzzled. Why did Chen Jinping drive such a car? Didn't Xiao Chen get this car from Li Shaniying? Or could it be that Chen Jinping had bought an identical car? Thinking of this, Shen Jingxian couldn't help but ask, "Jinping, why are you driving this car?" Didn't I see that Xiao Chen has one? I think this car is very good, so I bought the same one," Chen Jinping said indifferently. "Right, Jingxian. Where are you going? Do you want me to give you a ride?" Shen Jingxian suddenly felt a strange feeling. She went on a date with Xiao Chen, but she wanted her fiancé to give her a ride? "Get in the car. It's school time now. It's hard to get a taxi. Where are you going?" "I have nothing to do anyway," Chen Jinping said as he opened the door of the front passenger seat. Okay. I'm going to Tsailu Street number 18. Shen Jingxian hesitated and said. She was really afraid that Chen Jinping would ask her why she was going there. But Chen Jinping didn't seem to doubt it at all. He just nodded and promised, "Okay, no problem." Shen Jingxian was relieved. After getting in the car, Chen Jinping started the car. Then, he casually pressed a button on the side of the steering wheel. There was no change inside the car, but if someone looked from the outside, they would find that the Land Rover's license plate in Songning City had suddenly changed to a foreign license plate. The license plate number was exactly the same as the car Xiao Chen got from Li Shaniying. The whole car was covered with a film. From the outside, It was impossible to see the situation inside the car. Chen Jinping drove all the way to Tsailu Street. Soon, the car stopped at the door of Tsailu Street number 18. Chen Jinping said, "Jingxian, is it here? Then I'll stop at the door. You go ahead. I'm leaving." "Ah, okay. Thank you, Jinping." Shen Jingxian nodded to Chen Jinping. She got out of the car with excitement and anxiety. This was a villa. Although it wasn't a love mansion, it was still full of ambiguity. Why did Xiao Chen ask her to come here? Shen Jingxian entered the villa in a daze, but she found that there was no one in the villa. There was only a rental slip on the shoe cabinet at the door. It was written that Xiao Chen rented the villa for one night. There was nothing else. Perhaps Xiao Chen hadn't come yet. Shen Jingxian was relieved and sent a text message to Xiao Chen. "You're not here? Wait for me. I'll be there soon." Chen Jinping replied, then he smiled. He took out a mask from his bag and put it on his head. This was a customized silicone face that Chao Yuliang used his connections to make. It was made according to Xiao Chen's appearance. It couldn't be said to be exactly the same as Xiao Chen, but under the dim light at night, at first glance, there really wasn't much problem. Today, Chen Jinping wore the school uniform that Xiao Chen usually wore. The school uniforms of number 1 middle school and number 2 middle school were the same. At this moment he was Xiao Chen. Perhaps even Zhu Yingxiong wouldn't be able to see any flaws from a distance. After Chen Jinping finished all this, he started the car and went to a nearby adult goods store. He bought a box of emergency contraceptive pills. He was going to give it to Shen Jingxian. Although Chen Jinping didn't care that Shen Jingxian would get pregnant, the one who did it was Xiao Chen. Even if Chen Jinping was magnanimous and accepted Shen Jingxian after the incident, if he raised the illegitimate child in her belly, people who didn't know the truth would really suspect that Chen Jinping was a big idiot. Therefore, in order to put on a show, he definitely couldn't let Shen Jingxian get pregnant. Otherwise, things would be really troublesome. When the child was born and the paternity test was done, then the matter was likely to be exposed. Chen Jinping bought the medicine and got in the car again. When he returned to the car, Chao Yuliang's phone call came in. "Brother Liang." Chen Jinping picked up the phone. "Jinping, how is it? Is everything going well?" asked Chao Yuliang. "So far it's very smooth," Chen Jinping said. "I have already bought the medicine, and I also pretended to be Xiao Chen. When I get off the car, I will record it. But when Xiao Chen goes, the video will be cut off." "No problem. I have already informed the manager of the villa. When you go, the camera will be broken," Chao Yuliang said. "Then I'm going. Hee, I'm looking forward to it." "Brother Liang, your idea is great." Chen Jinping was excited. "Chen Jinping, let me remind you. When you go to the villa, immediately do it. Don't dawdle and waste time talking nonsense," Chao Yuliang reminded him. "Ah, why?" Chen Jinping was stunned. He really wanted to go into the villa and see Shen Jingxian. After saying some disgusting words, he wanted Shen Jingxian to hate Xiao Chen. He had already thought of his lines. He had wasted countless brain cells. Was it that useless? "Why? Don't you understand? What do you mean by a long night of dreams and side issues? Haven't you seen the TV series? Before those villains do bad things, they like to say a lot of useless things. Then they will make a move at the end. As a result, when they make a move, the protagonist will counterattack." Chao Yuliang reminded him. "Now remember, you are the protagonist. You are the winner. So, you have to make the first move. No matter what, the victory is the victory." "I understand." After Chen Jinping heard it, he suddenly broke into a cold sweat. Brother Liang is thoughtful. If it were me, I would definitely say a lot of words and stir up the atmosphere. Then there might really be a problem. And I will calculate it for you. After half an hour, I will inform Xiao Chen to go over. Half an hour should be enough for you, right?" said Chao Yuliang. "Half an hour? Isn't it a little short?" Chen Jinping was hesitant. It was not easy for him to have a chance to get intimate with her. It was only once in half an hour. He still wanted to have a second chance. "Is there something wrong with you? If you settle this matter, Shen Jingxian will be yours in the future. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want." Qiao Yuliang said exasperatedly. Hurry up. When the time comes and Xiao Chen goes, the one who's done for will be you. Okay, I got it. Brother Liang, don't worry. I won't drop the ball. Chen Jinping said quickly. And when the time comes, try to capture some shots of Xiao Chen and Xin Jingxian. Then make Xiao Chen faint. After doing all this, call me immediately. I will bring people to catch them in the act, said Qiao Yuliang. Yes, no problem at all, said Chen Jinping. After hanging up the phone, Chen Jinping's heart was full of fighting spirit. Haha, Xin Jingxian, this time you are finally mine. Xiao Chen, I will see how you die this time because of your lust. On Chen Jinping's side, when he was ready to drive back, Xin Jingxian was sitting on the sofa in the villa hall. She was bored watching TV while waiting for Xiao Chen. Beside the TV, there was an incense, which emitted a nice fragrance. The environment of this villa was really good. Chapter 315. However, Xin Jingxian really couldn't figure out why Xiao Chen asked her to come here. If he really wanted to kiss and hug, wouldn't it be better in the love mansion across the street? Why did he have to choose this place? Although the decoration here was also very luxurious, the atmosphere was still a bit lacking. The love mansion was more romantic. This place was more inclined to the ordinary family style. Could it be that Xiao Chen liked warmth and didn't like romance? In the TV, the male and female leads actually entered the bed scene, which made Xin Jingxian suddenly blush a little. She quickly changed the channel, but she didn't expect that the channel in the TV was all that kind of love drama, and it was inclined to the third level. This made Xin Jingxian a little embarrassed. Did Xiao Chen deliberately arrange it like this? Xin Jingxian was secretly annoyed. What is this guy thinking? She turned off the TV and felt a little hot and thirsty. So she opened the small fridge next to the sofa and took out a bottle of drink from it. She unscrewed it and drank it. This drink was very delicious and sweet. She didn't know where it was imported from. There were foreign words on it. Xin Jingxian couldn't understand it, but she didn't guard against it. After all, it was Xiao Chen who asked her to come here. It was impossible for him to poison the drink. However, after drinking this drink, Xin Jingxian felt that the heat in her body didn't decrease but increased. Not only that, she felt that there was something wrong with her body. This was a very strange feeling. It seemed that she suddenly had some expectations for Xiao Chen to come quickly and hold her in his arms. What's going on? I seem to be getting hotter and hotter. It shouldn't be. Xin Jingxian looked up at the temperature on the calendar in the living room. It was 26 degrees. There should be automatic air conditioning in the villa. How could this temperature still be so hot? Speaking of which, Chen Jinping reckoned that Xin Jingxian should have been drugged. He used multiple methods at the same time. Third-rate movies, incense and imported drinks, all of which would make Xin Jingxian burn with desire. He, Chen Jinping laughed wretchedly. He parked the car at the entrance of Cailu Street number 18. He had chosen a good place. Although Caixia Road was a century-old street, the side of Caixia Road was filled with love residences, business leisure clubs, and villas. Therefore, there were almost no people at night, and no one would pay attention to the situation here. During the day, there were still some business people who came here to negotiate, but at night, it was a paradise for couples. Couples who came here had already entered the villa, who would pay attention to the situation in the other villas. Chen Jinping parked the car. Just as he was about to pull out the key and get out of the car, he suddenly felt that the front passenger seat door of the car was pulled open. Then with a whoosh, a person suddenly got in. Who are you? What do you want? Chen Jinping was startled. Of course, he was only startled, but he wasn't afraid. After all, he was a martial artist at the peak of stage 2 internal strength. He didn't care about robbery at all. Li Shaniying came to participate in the Songming summit. After he arrived, he did not report directly. Instead, he looked for Xiao Chen all over the world. In order not to leave behind any evidence, he did not contact Qiao Yuliang and Chen Jinping. Finally, when he was walking at night, he accidentally saw the Land Rover that Xiao Chen had taken away. He was immediately furious. After that, he saw the car stop at the entrance of an adult goods store. Xiao Chen got out of the car to buy things. Li Shanning was suddenly overjoyed. This was simply wearing out iron shoes in fruitless search, only to find it by chance. He was looking for Xiao Chun, and Xiao Chun came to his door. It was like hitting a pillow when he was sleepy. However, there were more people in the pharmacy. Although Li Shanning was not afraid of anything, he was afraid that someone would see him killing Xiao Chun. So he followed and came to the villa area on Silu Street. There was no one on the road here. So Li Shanning acted and directly got into Chen Jinping's car. As for whether there were cameras nearby, Li Shanning did not consider it. He was not an assassin. He only considered that no one would see him. He did not care about other factors. The person who killed you, Li Shanning said coldly. Huh? Li Shanning? When Chen Jinping saw the appearance of the person, he was suddenly stunned. He did not expect to meet Li Shanning here. Didn't he return to Binjing province? Why is he back? Moreover, he said that he wanted to kill me? Could it be a mistake? Isn't he on the same side as me? Why does he want to kill me? Hey, it's me. You didn't expect it, right? Li Shanning looked at Xiao Chun with a cold expression. This time, he didn't want to waste any more words with him. He said directly, "That's right, I'm here to kill you. I've always wanted to kill you. I didn't expect you to recognize me and even call out my name. However, no matter how much you know, you are dead today." As he said that, Li Shanning suddenly made a move. He was like an eagle, reaching out to grab Chen Jinping's throat at an extremely fast speed. The strength of the peak of stage 6 martial artist was fully revealed. Chen Jinping was puzzled. Is there something wrong with this Li Shanning? Why did he say such strange words after getting in the car? But he was not nervous. Li Shanning was a person without strength. He was a martial artist at the peak of stage 2. Why should he be afraid of him? But in the next moment, Chen Jinping found that he was wrong. It was a big mistake. He was ridiculously wrong. Li Shanning was not an ordinary person at all. He was a martial artist with a terrifyingly high level of inner force. I'm not Xiao Chun. In front of Li Shanning, Chen Jinping, a martial artist at the peak of stage 2, was nothing. These were the last words he said before he died. The huge difference in strength made Chen Jinping die with everlasting regret. He did not have time to explain because the moment before he died, he understood that the reason why Li Shanning targeted him was because he was now in the appearance of Xiao Chun, and not the Chen Jinping he knew. But what was the use of understanding? He died before he could explain. His death was too unjust. You're not Xiao Chun? How can you say such a funny thing? And Li Shanning crushed Chen Jinping's throat, but suddenly found that there seemed to be a layer of silica gel on Li Shanning's throat. What is this? Li Shanning was slightly stunned. He raised his hand to touch the silica gel, and was suddenly shocked. He stretched his head, and carefully looked at Xiao Chen's face. His heart was suddenly shocked. Li Shanning's expression was a little stiff at the moment. It was obvious that there was something on his face. He took a deep breath, and carefully tore off the layer on Xiao Chen's face. When he saw the face under the layer, Li Shanning was a little dizzy. Chen Jinping? How could it be Chen Jinping? Wasn't it Xiao Chen? F***ck. Li Shanning smashed the mask on Chen Jinping's face on the windshield and scolded. Are you crazy? Why are you pretending to be Xiao Chen? Are you addicted? Li Shanning didn't understand. Chen Jinping went to an adult goods store before. He should have gone to buy adult goods. But after buying adult goods, this guy still pretended to be Xiao Chen. What was he doing here? Was this guy a pervert? He had to pretend to be someone else when he was having sex. However, Li Shanning didn't want to think about the specific situation. He had killed the wrong person, especially the son of the Songming Warrior Guild's vice president. What the hell was this? If this matter was discovered, there would definitely be a strict investigation. How could he have the chance to assassinate Xiao Chen? This was simply a scam. It was a scam. Li Shanning didn't dare to stay for a long time. While no one was nearby, he quickly slipped out of the car and quickly left the scene. He was going to find a hotel to stay in first and hide for 2 days. After Feng Sheng passed, he would sign up for the summit. Chao Yuliang was counting the time. It was almost time, so he sent a short message to Xiao Chen. Of course, he also used hacking skills to simulate Cheng Minjing's mobile phone number. Xiao Chen, I have something important to tell you. Come to the villa at 18, Silu Street immediately. See you there. Xiao Chen received a text message from Goddess Shen, which made him feel a little strange. Shen Jingxian actually took the initiative to ask him out. And to the villa on Silu Street? What was going on? Could it be that Goddess Shen was aroused by him that day and wanted to find a place to do it again? Then I will go immediately. In any case, this text message was sent by Shen Jingshuan's mobile phone number. Xiao Chen had to go. Even if there was a little doubt, with Xiao Chen's current strength, he didn't have to be afraid of anyone. It was equivalent to a martial artist at the peak of the 6th stage of inner force. What level was this? Even the second-generation members of many aristocratic families in Songning didn't have this strength. And now, Xiao Chen could actually stand up and return to the Xiao family. However, Xiao Chen was still considering it. First, he was a little reluctant to be separated from Miss Tang. This time, when he returned to the Xiao family, he was afraid that he would be cut off from Miss Tang. It was hard to say whether he would have the opportunity to contact her in the future, unless the Chung family wanted to renew the engagement. However, in this case, there was no hope for Xiao Chen, Tang Tang and Shen Jingxian. Every move of the children of the aristocratic families was closely watched. Xiao Chen had a foot in 3 boats, which would harm the Xiao family. With the current strength of the Xiao family, it was impossible for them to allow Xiao Chen to do so. Therefore, Xiao Chen was not as happy as a useless young master. Now, he represented himself in everything he did. What about the Tang family? If they were not happy, they would trample them to death with the identity of White Fox. It was the same for the Shen family and the Chung family. If he returned to the Xiao family, Xiao Chen would be restrained. He had to take into account the Xiao family behind him. Secondly, he faintly felt that there was someone behind Qiao Yuliang. So he planned to continue to follow the clues to find out who was behind Qiao Yuliang. His father's disappearance was too confusing. Xiao Chen must find out the truth. I'll wait for you. I think. Forget it, I'll come back to you. When Qiao Yuliang saw that Xiao Chen was hooked at once, he was overjoyed and deliberately sent a text message ambiguously. Chapter 316. This time Xiao Chen will definitely be fooled, right? Qiao Yuliang laughed. Xiao Chen, tonight will be your death anniversary. Young Master Chung will definitely be satisfied. When he was about to reach Silu Street, Xiao Chen called Shen Jingxian again, but her phone was still turned off. This made Xiao Chen's heart tighter and tighter. After hesitating for a while, Xiao Chen sent a text message. Jingxian, I'm going over. Why didn't you turn on your phone? However, to Xiao Chen's surprise, Shen Jingxian replied quickly this time. The signal here isn't very good. Come quickly, I'll wait for you. This message was, of course, returned by Qiao Yuliang. He still didn't know that his teammate, Chen Jinpeng, was already dead. He was thinking proudly that Xiao Chen would be dead tonight, and that young Master Chung would praise him and fulfill his promise. He would make himself the master of the Qiao family, and make the Qiao family the #1 aristocratic family in Songning City, because at that time, the Chung family would have long become one of the ancient martial arts aristocratic families in the province, just like the existence of the Shen family. Of course, even if the Chung family couldn't be promoted immediately, the Qiao family could also become the 2nd aristocratic family in Songning City. At that time, with the support of the Chung family, the Qiao family's limelight would be unrivaled. When he saw another message from Xiao Chen, he was slightly startled. However, he still replied without batting an eyelid. In his opinion, Xiao Chen would definitely rush over. That was the goddess invitation. In Qiao Yuliang's opinion, if Chung Minjing sent such a text message, he would definitely be fooled. They wouldn't think too much about it, and would eagerly run over to it. And Xiao Chen was probably the same, because Qiao Yuliang felt that this guy's intelligence was not as good as his. Xiao Chen looked at the phone and saw Shen Jingshuan's reply. At this moment, he already suspected that there was something wrong, but it might really be from Shen Jingxian. After all, the reason of bad signal was also reasonable. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen replied, "Okay, I'll be right there." Then he sped up. When Qiao Yuliang saw Xiao Chen's reply, he immediately heaved a sigh of relief. He chuckled and thought to himself, This guy is really as I imagined, an idiot. Chen Jinping should be done with his business, right? At that time, it would all depend on Chen Jinping. Xiao Chen quickly drove to the door of Kai Road Street 18. But what surprised Xiao Chen was that there was a Land Rover that looked exactly like his parked in front of Kai Road Street 18. Whose car is this? What the hell is going on? Xiao Chen didn't park his car side by side. Instead, he turned around and parked the car behind the villa. After all, there were two identical cars with the same license plate number. Wasn't he waiting to be surrounded by people? After getting out of the car, Xiao Chen went straight into the villa from the back door. As a result, as soon as he entered the villa, he heard a very strange sound. It was Shen Jingshuan's voice. But why did this voice remind Xiao Chen of the short movies on the computer? Xiao Chen couldn't help but speed up his pace and walk to the source of the sound. Shen Jingxian felt that her body was so hot. Although it was very hot before, it wasn't this hot. Is it because of the TV just now? Shen Jingxian tried hard to control her thoughts because she couldn't help but think of Xiao Chen. She thought of the artificial respiration in the sea, the hug in the closet, and the passionate kiss in the car. These ambiguous scenes filled Shen Jingshuan's mind, flashing back and forth. Not only did it make her breathing rapid, but her body was also terrifyingly hot. Shen Jingxian wanted to force herself to calm down. She lowered the temperature of the air conditioner again to 24 degrees, and the wind volume was at its maximum. The wind from the air conditioner rushed over. If it were in the past, she would have been shivering from the cold. She was a girl who was a little afraid of the cold. But today, what made Shen Jingxian feel strange was that she didn't feel cold at all. Instead, her body was getting hotter and hotter. Her mind was a mess of those scenes with Xiao Chen. Gradually, a strange feeling occupied Shen Jingshuan's whole body. She lay on the sofa, twisting her body back and forth, and there was a slight moan in her mouth. She really wanted Xiao Chen to come over and hug her. Xiao Chen came to the hall and saw Shen Jingxian on the sofa. He couldn't help but be slightly surprised. What's wrong with Shen Jingxian? Why does she look so uncomfortable? Xiao Chen quickly walked over, leaned down, and asked anxiously, Jingxian, I'm here. What are you looking for me for? What's wrong with you? Ah, Xiao Chen. Shen Jingxian opened her somewhat blurred eyes and looked at Xiao Chen with a charming look. Hug me. Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. He didn't expect his goddess to be so anxious. What kind of joke is this? But now it seemed that although there should be something strange, Shen Jingxian wasn't in any danger. At this moment, Xiao Chen also released his soul sense. In this villa, there was no one else except him and Shen Jingxian. Could it be that Shen Jingxian really missed me today and asked me to come here for a date? Xiao Chen, hurry up. Hug me. Shen Jingxian was a little anxious. She missed Xiao Chen a lot before. At this time, Xiao Chen was already here, but he was still dawdling. Who knew what he was thinking? Shen Jingxian was really angry and embarrassed. Usually, you are so proactive. Today, I finally take the initiative, but you still don't respond? She wanted to be angry and ignore Xiao Chen. But her body's reaction made her involuntarily stretch out her arms to ask for a hug. Xiao Chen no longer hesitated. He quickly reached out his hands, picked up Shen Jingxian, and put her in his arms. As soon as he touched Shen Jingshuan's body, she trembled slightly, and then her whole body was like an octopus, tightly hugging Xiao Chen's body. Kiss me. Shen Jingxian was hugged by Xiao Chen, but she was not satisfied with the status quo. However, her words basically didn't go through her thoughts. It was just that the person in front of her was Xiao Chen, so she didn't have any guard at all. If it were Chen Jinping, Shen Jingxian would definitely think about why she became like this. But the person in front of her was Xiao Chen. She couldn't wait to be happy. How could she have the mood to think about why she was so emotional today? In the face of Shen Jingshuan's embrace, Xiao Chen didn't refuse. Shen Jingxian had promised to be his girlfriend, so why would he refuse? Ugh. Shen Jingshuan's lips were sealed by Xiao Chen, but it seemed that she was still not satisfied with the status quo. She simply sat on Xiao Chen's body, and then she reached out and began to pull the skirt under her body. However, at this moment, Xiao Chen felt that something was wrong. Although Goddess Shen always kissed and hugged him half-heartedly, It was limited to that. Today, she was straddling him, and it seemed like she was going to tear his skirt. This was something that had never happened before. If Yi Xiaoya could do such a thing, Xiaochen would still believe it. But Goddess Shen didn't seem like such a bold girl. Jingxian, what's wrong with you? Xiaochen used a little force and pushed Shen Jingxian away. He wanted to ask what was going on. However, when Shen Jingxian separated from Xiaochen, her eyes were suddenly filled with resentment. With Xiaochen's arrival, Shen Jingxuan's heat had just been relieved. However, when Xiaochen pushed her away, the heat in her body became more violent. The blurred desire in her heart began to surge. She immediately approached him and took the initiative to peck at Xiaochen's chin and neck, as if they were a clear spring to relieve the heat. Xiaochen's uncooperative behavior made Shen Jingxian twist her body in dissatisfaction. She raised her head and looked at Xiaochen, with her big watery eyes full of intoxication. Xiaochen, you don't like me, right? You like Tang Tang Jin Beibei and Cheng Menjing, but you don't like me, right? In fact, Shen Jingxian didn't know what she was talking about. These were some thoughts in her heart, and she naturally said them at this moment. How is it possible? Xiaochen couldn't help but smile bitterly. Goddesses could also be jealous. You know that I've been pursuing you for 3 years. Then you want me. Shen Jingxian bit her lips and exhaled. She didn't know why she said these words. She didn't want to say it, but the desire that came from the depths of her soul was getting stronger and stronger. She couldn't extricate herself from it. She didn't want to think about anything else right now. All she wanted was to be intimate with the person she loved deeply. Shen Jingxuan's words made Xiaochen's calm mind go blank at once. At this moment, only Shen Jingxian was left in his eyes, as if everything around him was no longer important. The gap between their identities, and the fact that he couldn't expose his identity, had become a fleeting cloud at this moment. In the face of Goddess Shen's request, the only thought in Xiaochen's mind was to agree. Xiaochen, there seems to be something wrong with your goddess. Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice suddenly rang in Xiaochen's ears. Ah, what's wrong? Xiaochen was slightly stunned. Your goddess seems to have been drugged, Elder Heaven Ancestor reminded him. Haven't you noticed that she's not normal? Xiaochen was shocked by Elder Heaven Ancestor's reminder. Yes, Shen Jingxian was indeed not normal today. He had thought of it before, but later, Shen Jingxuan's appearance made Xiaochen have no time to think about other things. Drugged? You mean? Xiaochen carefully sniffed the smell in the house, and then his eyes drifted to a piece of incense. This incense was on, and it emitted a very pleasant smell. Xiaochen didn't notice it before, but now, he saw the incense and remembered the car that was the same as his at the door. Is there really a problem here? However, what Xiaochen couldn't figure out was whether this incense was placed by Shen Jingxian, or by someone else. Did Shen Jingxian want to have a romantic date with me? Or did someone plot to frame me and Shen Jingxian? Chapter 317. However, is there any meaning to this kind of framing? What good is it for them to make me do something to Shen Jingxian? What harm is there to me? Xiaochen couldn't figure out the crux of it all at once. At present, Xiaochen's only enemies were Chao Yuliang, Chen Jinping and Li Shaniying. It was likely that they were the ones who did this. However, Shen Jingxian was Chen Jinping's fiancé. No matter how stupid he was, he wouldn't do such a thing to make himself a cuckold, right? Not bad. It seems that you are not stupid, Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Not only is there a problem with the incense, but Goddess Shen herself should also have a problem. There is more than one drug in her body. There should be other drugs. Through your contact with her, I found some. In other words, it is possible that someone is trying to harm me. What should I do? Xiaochen took a deep breath and asked. Your vitality is omnipotent. You should be able to detoxify it. Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Just like Kurlin's situation last time. Oh, but why should I detoxify it? Xiaochen's eyes flashed a touch of evil. Under the effect of the incense, there was a touch of manic hostility in his body. It was just like when he killed Chen Jingquan and beat up Qi Zhigao. However, this hostility today, Xiaochen didn't want to kill, but, you don't detoxify it? Elder Heaven Ancestor listened to Xiaochen's words and was stunned. If you don't detoxify it, what about her? She is my girlfriend. Why should I detoxify her? Every time she wants to have sex with me in the future, do I have to solve it with luck? Am I F***king crazy? Xiao Chen said in a somewhat demonic manner. Xiao Chen, this may be a trap. Elder Heaven Ancestor reminded him. Elder Heaven Ancestor, you are so troublesome. Now you should rest for a while. Xiao Chen reached down to Shen Jingshuan's waist and touched a button. It was the buckle at the back of her dress. He didn't even think about it, and reached out to tear it. Ah, Goddess Shen, who was no longer bound by her dress, was like a happy little fish that had escaped from the net. With a casual tug, she tore off her dress, revealing her snow-white shoulders and the pair of slender jade-like legs that made one's imagination run wild. Xiao Chen's throat moved slightly, and a heat flowed from his dantian to his whole body. Although Xiao Chen knew that Elder Sky was right, he still couldn't keep his cool when faced with the goddess he had been secretly in love with for 3 years. He could face Kerlin calmly, because he didn't have a deep relationship with Kerlin. He just wanted to protect her. But Shen Jingxian was different. Her initiative broke Xiao Chen's last trace of reason, and made the two entangled together. No matter what happened to the powerful Shen family, no matter how he would deal with it afterward, Xiao Chen didn't care anymore. Chao Yuliang didn't know what happened in Villa number 18. Of course, this didn't affect his fantasies. He imagined that Xiao Chen had been secretly photographed by Chen Jinping, and he imagined that Xiao Chen would be defeated in a while. However, as Chao Yuliang was fantasizing, the phone rang. He thought that Chen Jinping had settled it, but to his surprise, the caller was Li Shaniying. Second young Master Li, what's the matter? Chao Yuliang didn't have anything to do at the moment, so he picked up the phone. Oh, actually it's nothing. I'm going to Songning City to do something in a few days. Have you thought of a way to deal with Xiao Chen? If not, let's discuss it together after I'm there. The reason why Li Shaniying made this call was to create an alibi for himself. Killing Xiao Chen wasn't a big deal, but killing Chen Jinping would be a big deal. Although the Chen family wasn't as good as the Li family, he casually caused trouble in Songning City and killed the son of the vice president of the Warrior Guild. Even if someone in the Li family was the vice president of the Warrior Guild, this matter couldn't be suppressed. Therefore, he made this call now to tell Chao Yuliang that he was still in Songning province and hadn't left yet. Oh, I see. There's nothing we can do here. When second young Master Li comes over, let's discuss it in detail. Chao Yuliang didn't tell Li Shaniying his plan. After all, he didn't want this plan to be exposed. If people knew that he and Chen Jinping had set up the Shen family and the Xiao family, he would be in serious trouble. Now that Li Shaniying was no longer a partner, Chao Yuliang didn't tell him such a top-secret matter. He just brushed it off. If Xiao Chen was killed, it wouldn't have much to do with him. Okay, I'll call you when I arrive in Songning City. Li Shaniying hung up the phone with satisfaction. He didn't necessarily want to cooperate with Chao Yuliang again. He just wanted to show his attitude. Chao Yuliang hung up the phone with satisfaction. At that time, Li Shaniying would definitely think that this matter had nothing to do with him. As for Li Shaniying, he found a hotel to stay in first. He planned to rest for a few days and wait for things to calm down before appearing again. Shen Jingxian was lying in Xiao Chen's arms in a daze. The soft sofa became their first battlefield. Shen Jingxian couldn't believe the previous craziness. There was still a blush on her face, and there was a touch of coquettish satisfaction at the corner of her mouth. As for Xiao Chen, he had also recovered his previous calmness. Looking at the breathtakingly beautiful goddess Shen in his arms, Xiao Chen didn't know how to talk to her. Shen Jingxian quietly recalled the previous things, and her rationality gradually returned to her. From the previous TV, to the strange incense, and the bottle of drink that made Shen Jingxian suspicious, all of this, in her recollection now, was it a meticulous trap set by Xiao Chen? Because here, it was Xiao Chen who asked her to come, and Xiao Chen appeared as promised. This made it difficult for Shen Jingxian to think that there was a trap within a trap. Even if she wasn't stupid, it was impossible to think that this was all arranged by Chen Jinping. In her opinion, it was Xiao Chen who wanted to get her, so he asked her to come here. Although it couldn't be said that he used force, Under the effect of the knockout drug, he made her have sex with him in a daze. Indeed, she took the initiative more, but that was also because of the knockout drug. If there was no knockout drug, how could Shin Jingxian be like this? At this moment, Shin Jingxian looked at Xiao Chen's eyes, and there was no love in the past. It's true that I like him, but shouldn't this kind of thing be voluntary? What's the matter with you using knockout drug? Don't you know how to tell me? Moreover, Shen Jingxian didn't think that the relationship between her and Xiao Chun had developed to the step of intimacy. How long have they known each other? Isn't this a gradual process? Now, Xiao Chun directly omitted the process of their love and took the last step. How could Shin Jingshuan's heart accept it? It's true that I like you, but if you do this, you will hurt my heart. A goddess also has self-esteem. Moreover, she has said that now is not the time. Her current identity is Chen Jinping's fiancé. If she does it with Xiao Chen now, what should I do? Before the engagement ceremony of a big family, both sides will arrange a physical examination. When I am found out that it's not the first time, how can I deal with it? Xiao Chen isn't loving me, but spoiling me. Therefore, Shen Jingxian is really disappointed now. She thought that Xiao Chen loved her and respected her. But now, she found out that she was wrong. Xiao Chen is like others. He likes her appearance and he likes her body. Obviously, I have promised him to be his girlfriend, but he is still so anxious to use such a dirty trick. Shen Jingshuan's affection for Xiao Chen directly fell to the negative value. I am not a half-hearted person. Sooner or later, I will give it to him. Why is he so anxious? Jingxian. Xiao Chen saw that Shen Jingxian didn't speak, lying quietly in his arms. He couldn't understand the goddess's mind, so he had no choice but to speak first. Xiao Chen, you go. I want to be alone. Shen Jingshuan's tone is a little cold. It is no wonder that Shen Jingxian misunderstood. If it were anyone else, they would misunderstand. Li Shaniying messed up the plan. It was originally Chen Jinping's scene, but Xiao Chen broke it. Xiao Chen is slightly surprised. What does Shen Jingxian mean? Be alone? He subconsciously hugged Shen Jingxian tightly. Jingxian, I said that I will walk into the door of the Shen family with dignity. Xiao Chen, I said, let me be alone for a while. Shen Jingxian flared up without any warning. Goddess Shen, who had always been good-tempered and had never lost her temper, flared up. She struggled out of Xiao Chen's embrace. Jingxian, calm down. Xiao Chen was going to ask Shen Jingxian, what is going on today? He didn't expect Shen Jingxian to suddenly go berserk. Go. I asked you to go. Didn't you hear me? Shen Jingxian glared at Xiao Chen. If you don't want to see me in the future, continue to stay here. Xiao Chen saw that Shen Jingxian is really angry. He smiled helplessly inside. He quickly put on his clothes and left the villa under Shen Jingshuan's cold gaze. However, Xiao Chen didn't leave. He already suspected that something is wrong, so he was worried about Shen Jingxian staying here alone. He got in the car and pretended to leave. In fact, he parked the car in a parking lot far away. Then, he put on the white fox mask and walked back on foot. He sat on an inconspicuous bench under the shade of a tree and quietly stared at the door of the villa. At this moment, the sky is already dark. Xiao Chen is sitting here. If outsiders don't shine the light carefully, no one will find traces of Xiao Chen. After all, martial artists are not cultivators. They don't have a strong soul, divine sense, and mental strength. Chapter 318. After calming down, Xiao Chen began to carefully recall what happened today. To be honest, today had fulfilled one of Xiao Chen's biggest wishes for the past 3 years, which was to push down Goddess Shen. Once upon a time, this was just a dream that could only be realized in his dreams. There was even one time when he secretly took Shen Jingshuan's photo and beat her up in a 5-on-1 fight in the room. In the past, the useless Xiao Chen, although he was the young master of the Xiao family, in fact, he was not much better than most of the losers. He was just fantasizing about it. He had never considered that one day, he would be able to realize his dream. However, when this dream came true, Xiao Chen's heart was indescribably depressed. Especially Shen Jingshuan's displeasure and indifference after the matter. It made Xiao Chen's heart sink to the bottom. The happiness from before was also thrown to the back of his mind. Why? Why did he get it? And it was Shen Jingxian who took the initiative. But in the end, both of them were unhappy. What went wrong? Xiao Chen asked himself that he did not force Shen Jingxian to do anything. All of this was considered pushing the boat along with the current. Speaking of which, Shen Jingxian took the initiative. But why did Shen Jingxian have such an expression after the matter? Or was there something hidden in it? Or was it that Shen Jingxian was going to be engaged to Chen Jinpeng? So before the engagement, she gave her to him, and then broke up with him? Of course, these were all Xiao Chen's guesses. Now that Shen Jingshuan's state was not very stable, Xiao Chen knew that whatever he said to her was useless, and she would not listen to him now. Everything had to wait until he figured out the situation. Shen Jingxian looked at Xiao Chen's back view as he left. Her eyes were a little complicated. At this moment, she suddenly felt a little reluctant. Yes, she still liked Xiao Chen. Even if Xiao Chen used dishonorable means to get her, she still liked Xiao Chen. However, liking him did not mean that she could forgive him. At the very least, she was somewhat disappointed in Shen Jingxian and Xiao Chen. She didn't understand why Xiao Chen had to take this extreme path. Looking at the torn dress on the ground, Shen Jingxian suddenly felt a kind of depression, not knowing how to leave. Now that Xiao Chen had left, what should she do? Now who could he look for? It seemed that apart from Xiao Chen, the person closest to her was Cheng Minjing. But could he ask Cheng Minjing for help? If Cheng Minjing came, wouldn't the relationship between the two of them be broken? Shen Jingxian had a headache. The madness from before made her very tired. Her whole body exuded a strange sense of beauty. This perfect body that many people yearned for day and night had become Xiao Chen's. But now, what should Shen Jingxian do? She couldn't go out naked, could she? She took down the curtain on the sofa and covered her body, but she couldn't go out like this. She was hesitating whether to call Xiao Chen and ask him to come back. At least, he should send her a piece of clothing. However, before she could make the call, she heard the sound of a car coming from the door of the villa. Could it be that Xiao Chen found his conscience and came back? At least you have a little sense of responsibility. Shen Jinghao was drinking with Xia Huang and Xia Chen in the nightclub. Suddenly he received a text message. He opened it and saw that it was actually from Shen Jingxian. Dad, save me. I am at number 18 Silu Street. Someone wants to harm me. Shen Jinghao was shocked when he saw the text message. Someone wants to harm my daughter? How could he still eat and drink? He quickly said to Xia Huang and Xia Chen, sorry you two. My daughter sent me a message. Someone wants to harm her. I have to rush over as soon as possible. Oh, Xia Huang was slightly stunned, and then said, well, business is more important. Why don't we go with you? We are still very familiar with the territory of the province. If it involves the secular world, we can come forward and settle it. Okay. Shen Jinghao nodded. At present, he didn't know what kind of forces were against Shen Jingxian. If it was the forces of the martial artists, then he should be able to settle it. If it was the forces of the secular world, then it would be difficult to settle it with the martial artists, unless he had absolute power. However, if the Xie family came forward, it would save a lot of trouble. So Shen Jinghao didn't refuse. The three quickly went to number 18 Silu Street. Jingxian, how are you? Shen Jinghao strode into the villa, but the scene in front of him shocked him. He saw Shen Jingxian sitting on the sofa, wrapped in a sofa curtain, and on the ground was her torn dress. On the other side of the sofa, there were bloodstains mixed with some kind of liquid. This kind of mixture, how could Shen Jinghao not know what it was? His brain suddenly buzzed. Who did this? Shen Jingxian was harmed by someone. How could he explain it to the Chen family? In fact, women from aristocratic families were very concerned about these things. They were absolutely not allowed to lose their virginity before getting married. Otherwise, after marrying, they would not be valued by the other family. Shen Jingxian didn't expect the sound of the car at the door to be her father, which made her a little surprised. How did Dad know how to find this place? I didn't say anything. Could it be that Xiao Chen said it? But is Xiao Chen stupid? In Shen Jingshuan's view, Xiao Chen shouldn't be able to do such a thing. Then who asked her father to come? Xia Huang and Xia Chen, who followed in, were also stunned. How could they not know what happened in this situation? Xia Huang took a look at Shen Jingxian and no longer looked at her. But Xia Chen's eyes couldn't move away. The Xia family was not a small family. It was even more popular than the ordinary aristocratic families. Xia Chen also saw a lot of women. But it was the first time he saw a woman as beautiful as Shen Jingxian. With just one look, Xia Chen couldn't move his eyes away. Although Shen Jingshuan's body had been covered by the sofa curtain, the exposed white arms still made Xia Chen a little crazy. Shen Jingshuan's face still had a blush after passion. Her eyebrows were picturesque like a sculpture. With a little charming big eyes and a delicate mouth, she perfectly outlined the image of a fairy on earth. Shen Jingxian wasn't called the goddess of the masses for nothing. She had this proud capital, especially now that Shen Jingxian was even more crazy. Even though he knew that the woman in front of him had just been raped, Xia Chen still couldn't extricate himself. His breathing was a little rushed, and he just stared at Shen Jingxian. Shen Jingxian was a little uncomfortable being stared at by a stranger. At this moment, she couldn't wait to avoid people. It made her a little annoyed that someone was looking at her so insensibly. "Dad, you guys go out first." Shen Jingshuan's voice was a little empty, and people couldn't figure out her real thoughts at the moment. "Jingxian, who did it? Tell Dad, and Dad will bring him over and tear him into pieces," Shen Jinghao said while gritting his teeth. Shen Jingxian shook her head and didn't say anything. Could it be that Xiao Chen did it? Wouldn't that be harming Xiao Chen? Although she also hated Xiao Chen at the moment, this was only between her and Xiao Chen. She didn't want to get involved like others, because it would only make things worse. Shen Jinghao thought that Shen Jingxian was in a bad mood, so he nodded and decided to leave first. He wanted to let Shen Jingxian calm down. After all, Shen Jingshuan's clothes were torn. It was fine if it was just him, but there were other people around. How could Shen Jingxian say anything? Xia Huang was also ready to go out with Shen Jinghao. But when he turned his head, he saw his cousin Xia Chen staring at Shen Jingxian without blinking. He suddenly felt a little awkward, and he coughed twice to remind Xia Chen. Then he reached out and pulled him back to reality. Xia Chen was actually a little embarrassed, and he quickly followed his brother out of the villa. "I'm sorry to let you two see this. I didn't expect such a thing to happen." Shen Jinghao's first thought was to block the news, but Xia Huang and Xia Chen weren't ordinary people. He couldn't do anything to them. What's there to see? Anyone who encounters such a thing will feel bad. "Uncle Shen, don't be too sad. The most important thing is to figure out the truth of the matter and find the real culprit. But don't worry, we won't go out and talk about it." Xia Huang knew that this was a serious matter, and this kind of thing shouldn't be publicized. They didn't have a grudge against the Shen family, so how could they go out and talk about it? "That's good. Sorry to trouble you too." Shen Jinghao sighed secretly. He didn't look carefully at the door of the villa, because he was in a hurry. But now when Shen Jinghao went out, he found a Land Rover parked at the door of the villa. He looked at the license plate. Wasn't this Xiao Chen's car? Could it be that this thing was done by Xiao Chen? Shen Jinghao was furious. The more he thought about it, the more likely it was. After all, through his previous investigation, he found that there seemed to be something wrong between Xiao Chen and Shen Jingxian. Xiao Chen must have lied to his daughter. Judging from the current situation, his daughter definitely didn't do it willingly. Otherwise, she wouldn't have texted him, and she wouldn't have looked like she lost her wits. Thinking of this, Shen Jinghao didn't care about anything else. He walked directly to the Land Rover and exerted his strength. The door of the Land Rover's driver's seat was pulled down by him and fell to the ground with a paw. "Xiao Chen, get out." The moment the door was opened, Shen Jinghao's eyes saw a person sitting in the driver's seat of the car. So he subconsciously thought that it was Xiao Chen who did something bad and didn't have time to escape. But in the next moment, he felt that something was wrong, because this person wasn't Xiao Chen, but Chen Jinping. Xiao Chen and Chen Jinping were people he was familiar with. He could recognize the problem at a glance. "Chen Jinping, how come it's you? What are you doing here?" Shen Jinghao was a little inexplicable. Why is the person in the car at the door Chen Jinping? However, Chen Jinping didn't respond to him. Shen Jinghao shouted again, then reached out to push Chen Jinping. It was just a push, and Chen Jinping fell directly on the passenger seat, motionless. Chapter 319. Jinping. Shen Jinghao yelled and pulled him up. This time he took a closer look. He saw that Chen Jinping's throat had been broken, and he was no longer breathing. Shen Jinghao was shocked. Fortunately, Xie Huang and Xie Chen were here. If he was alone, others would think that he killed Chen Jinping. After all, Chen Jinping was a person at the scene. It was normal for Shen Jinghao to think that he was the one who harmed Shen Jingxian. It was not surprising that Shen Jinghao killed him to vent his anger. He has been dead for a while. Although Xie Chen was not a pharmacist, he had been dealing with medicinal herbs since he was a child. He still had some understanding of some medical things. He was really ecstatic now. Previously, when he was drinking with Shen Jinghao, he had already learned that the Shen family and the Chen family were in-laws. Shen Jinghao's daughter was engaged to Chen Jinping of the Chen family. Therefore, although he was very obsessed with Shen Jingxian before, he also knew that Shen Jingxian belonged to Chen Jinping, not him. He could only look at her. Now that he heard that the person who died was Chen Jinping, he was overjoyed. Chen Jinping was dead. Didn't that mean that he had a chance? Of course, if Shen Jingxian hadn't been raped, then Xie Chen wouldn't have a chance. The gap between the Xie family and the Shen family wasn't small, especially when Xie Chen wasn't the focus of the Xie family. In the future, the successor to the position of the family master would definitely be Xie Huang. It would be good if he could get the position of the family elder, if he worked hard. However, that was also a matter of the future. Now, he was just a member of the Xie family's business executive. He didn't have a special identity. But now that Shen Jingxian was no longer a virgin, Xie Chen had a chance. The Xie family could use this as a condition to talk about marriage with the Shen family. We don't care. As long as Shen Jingxian is willing to marry, the Xie family will be grateful and marry her. It could be said that at this moment, Xie Chen's mind turned quickly. He suddenly figured out the key, so he began to flatter Shen Jinghao. He jumped out and said so. In fact, to testify for Shen Jinghao that he was not the murderer of Chen Jinping. While the three of them were shocked by Chen Jinping's death, an Audi A6L drove over quickly and stopped beside the Land Rover and Shen Jinghao. Chao Yuliang quickly got out of the car and shouted, "Uncle Shen, you're here too. Just now, Jinping sent me a message saying that something happened here. Xiao Chen wanted to do something bad to Jingxian, so I rushed over. How is it? How is it? Did you catch Xiao Chen?" Xiao Chen. Shen Jinghao was stunned and frowned. How did it have something to do with Xiao Chen? Right, the Land Rover in front of me belongs to Xiao Chen. Was Chen Jinping killed by Xiao Chen? However, Xiao Chen wasn't a martial artist. How could he kill Chen Jinping, who was at the peak of the second stage of inner force? It wasn't realistic. Yes, Xiao Chen is in the car, right? Jinping told me that Xiao Chen was going to do something to Jingxian. He asked me to hurry over. As Chao Yuliang spoke, he stuck his head out to look inside the car. What he saw shocked him. Isn't this Golden Rock? What happened to him? He was killed. I just found out. Shen Jinghao said. I saw a car here. I thought it was Xiao Chen's car, so I pulled the door open. As a result, I found that Chen Jinping was dead inside. According to the two nephews of the Xie family, Chen Jinping had been dead for a while. It should have been before we came. Yes, and the person who killed him was obviously a powerful martial artist. He made Chen Jinping unable to fight back. Xie Chen pointed at Chen Jinping's throat and said, I don't know who did it? Chao Yuliang was a little dumbfounded. What's going on? According to the plan, it shouldn't be like this. Wasn't Chen Jinping supposed to be arrogant and catch Xiao Chen in the act? But how did it become Chen Jinping's death? Where's Xiao Chen? Could it be that Xiao Chen didn't come? At this moment, Chao Yuliang's mind was blank. Chen Jinping, who was on the phone with him and planned to deal with Xiao Chen, died just like that? There's a mask here. Xie Huang was also carefully investigating the situation inside the car. Suddenly, he found a silicone mask under the windshield of the car. This mask, isn't it Xiao Chen's appearance? When Xie Huang picked up the mask and opened it with his hand, Shen Jinghao recognized the person on the mask at a glance. Yes, it must be Xiao Chen. He killed Chen Jinping. Qiao Yuliang was stunned at the moment. If he couldn't frame Xiao Chen now, then he couldn't complete the task that Cheng Mingqiang gave him. So as long as there was a chance, he must blame Chen Jinping's death on Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen Chen Jinping. Shen Jinghao wasn't stupid. On the contrary, he was very shrewd. At this moment, he looked at the dead Chen Jinping in the car, and looked at the mask on the car's windshield. He suddenly said to Xia Huang and Xia Chen, "You help me put the mask on Chen Jinping's head." "Okay, Uncle Shen." Xia Chen was now obedient to Shen Jinghao. He directly took the silicone mask from his cousin, Xia Huang, and put it on Chen Jinping's head. Then, Shen Jinghao began to carefully observe the masked Chen Jinping. After observing for a while, he only came to one conclusion. This mask was Chen Jinping's. It should be known that this kind of advanced silicone mask was made to a certain ratio. In order to fit the user's face perfectly, it was usually done by a real person. Chen Jinping's mask was like this. It fit perfectly on the head, and there was no trace of inappropriateness. This showed that this mask should be made by Chen Jinping himself. If it was made by someone else and used to frame him, it would be impossible to fit so perfectly. But in this case, why did Chen Jinping wear Xiao Chen's mask? Moreover, why did he drive the same car as Xiao Chen? What was his purpose? Frame someone. A word flashed in Shen Jinghao's mind. Of course, this frame wasn't someone else, Chen Jinping. But the guy Chen Jinping wanted Xiao Chen. During this period, Shen Jinghao also intermittently judged, through Shen Jingshuan's words, that Qiao Yuliang and Chen Jinping wanted to kill Xiao Chen. Especially at Cheng Minjing's birthday party, Qiao Yuliang talked nonsense after drinking. Although it was drunk, of course, it also represented his inner thoughts to a certain extent. Although Shen Jinghao didn't know why Qiao Yuliang and Chen Jinping hated Xiao Chen so much that they wanted to kill him, and even united with the Li family to deal with Xiao Chen, he didn't want to interfere. After all, it had nothing to do with him. He didn't have a good relationship with Xiao Chen, nor did he have a good relationship with the Xiao family. Why did Shen Jinghao interfere? But these did not affect his judgment. In his opinion, it should be Chen Jinping who drove this Xiao Chen's Land Rover. Although he didn't know where he got it. And then he came here. He didn't know how he deceived Shen Jingxian to come here. And then he pretended to be Xiao Chen, and did that to Shen Jingxian. When he was about to escape, he didn't know how he encountered an accident, and was killed by someone. And the person who killed him was very powerful. Although the reason was not known for the time being, it was definitely an accident. The arrival of Qiao Yuliang after the incident also confirmed this point. This was clearly planned. If it was Chen Jinping who informed Qiao Yuliang, how could Qiao Yuliang come now? Chen Jinping had been dead for a long time. If he contacted Qiao Yuliang, he must have contacted him before he died. In that case, did Qiao Yuliang drive an ox cart here? Looking at the way he rushed here just now, it didn't seem like he was wasting time at all. So in conclusion, Chen Jinping pushed Shen Jingxian, and then wanted to frame Xiao Chen, and then Qiao Yuliang came to help. However, something unexpected happened, and the main character, Chen Jinping, died. In fact, if Chen Jinping didn't die, Shen Jinghao wouldn't be so angry when he did this kind of thing. After all, Shen Jingxian would be his woman sooner or later. Now it was just a little earlier. But now, Chen Jinping died after doing it once. Didn't this kill Shen Jingxian? How could she get married in the future? Moreover, even if she wanted to hide it now, she couldn't hide it anymore. Chen Jinping died, and the fact that he had sex with Shen Jingxian definitely couldn't be hidden. In this way, Shen Jingshuan's life was finished. Thinking of this, Shen Jinghao was furious. He wanted to confirm if it was what he guessed, so he walked into the villa again quickly. Looking at Shen Jingxian, who was sitting on the sofa with a blank face, he asked angrily, "Jingxian, tell me, did Xiao Chen do it?" Ah, Shen Jingxian was a little stunned, and her heart skipped a beat for no reason. Dad knew. How did he know? It's impossible. I clearly let Xiao Chen go. Did he come back? This idiot. Women's minds were sometimes very strange. Just a moment ago, she was thinking that Xiao Chen would come back to give her clothes. And now she was thinking that Xiao Chun wouldn't come back. Looking at Shen Jingshuan's expression, Shen Jinghao knew that his guess was right. Now the whole thing could be confirmed. Chen Jinping really did it. He pretended to be Xiao Chun, and then Shen Jingxian would definitely say that Xiao Chun did it. Now, Shen Jinghao had some doubts. Was the contact between Xiao Chun and Shen Jingxian deliberately arranged by Chen Jinping, and let him know? Wasn't this to increase the misunderstanding, and make him think that Xiao Chun really did it? If Chen Jinping didn't die today, and left smoothly, then Shen Jinghao would definitely think that Xiao Chun did it. Then Xiao Chun would definitely not be able to explain himself. And he would definitely be so angry that he would slap Xiao Chun to death. Even if he didn't slap Xiao Chun to death, he would capture him and bring him to the warrior guild. In that way, with the help of Chen Jinping's father, Chen Huanling, Xiao Chun would definitely die. What a good way to kill someone with a borrowed knife. What a good scheme. Shen Jinghao didn't say anything more to Shen Jingxian. Instead, he quickly took off his coat and threw it to Shen Jingxian, signaling her to put it on quickly. Chapter 320. Jingxian, hurry up and clean up. Something big happened. Chen Jinping is dead. Shen Jinghao turned around and walked out of the villa. Although she was his daughter, she had grown up now. He couldn't stay here when his daughter changed her clothes. Chen Jinping is dead. Shen Jingshuan's brain suddenly exploded, and she almost fainted. Did Xiao Chun do it? Xiao Chun is really daring. How dare he kill Chen Jinping? Shen Jingxian subconsciously thought that it was Xiao Chun who did it. He took possession of her. In order to prevent her from being with Chen Jinping, he chose to kill Chen Jinping by hook or by crook. For Shen Jingxian, Chen Jinping's death was not enough. This person always plotted with Chao Yuliang to kill Xiao Chun. Shen Jingxian hated him a long time ago. He used to be Xiao Chun's underling, but now he worked with Xiao Chun's enemy to harm Xiao Chun. He deserved to die. However, had Xiao Chun thought about the consequences of doing this? After he did this, would the Chun family let him go? Even the Shen family wouldn't let him go easily. He was destroying the family's plan to buy medicinal herbs. Without the Chen family's support, how could the Shen family buy medicinal herbs in the future? How could her younger brother, Shen Jingmao, get the position? All of these were enough to give Shen Jingxian a headache. Of course, she was most worried about Xiao Chun's safety. Now Xiao Chun was no longer the young master of the Xiao family. If the Chen family wanted to kill him, they could do it easily. There was no legitimate reason before, but now there was a reason. What could he do? This fellow is really worrisome. Not only did he occupy her in a daze, but he also created so much trouble. Didn't he know how to endure it? However, when it came to forbearance, Shen Jingxian felt that Xiao Chun was not an impulsive person. Just from the fact that he had been hiding his strength even after he was chased out of the family, she could tell that he was a courageous and astute person. Could it be because of him? There was a saying that love made people blind. Shen Jingxian thought about it carefully. It seemed that Xiao Chun started to show his strength after she got together with him. Did I hurt him? Shen Jingxian could not help but sigh. What should she do? She had already ignored her own feelings. All that was left was worry. She quickly put on her father's coat, covering her from head to toe. Looking at the bloodstains on the sofa, Shen Jingxian hesitated for a moment. She picked up the sofa cushion, rolled it up, and put it in her school bag not far away. This was a souvenir of herself and Xiao Chun. No matter what the future would be, this would become a memory for Shen Jingxian. Although she was a little annoyed after it happened, it was beautiful when it happened. After leaving the villa, Shen Jingxian found that outside the villa, in addition to her father, Xia Huang and Xia Chun, there were a few more people. There was Chao Yuliang, Chen Huanling from the Chen family, and a gloomy-looking martial artist beside Chen Huanling. Chen Huanling, look at what your son has done. Shen Jinghao had shed all pretense of cordiality at this moment. Chen Jinping was dead, and the marriage was nonsense. It was completely impossible. He must take the initiative. Since the matter had been blown up, he must make the Chen family pay the price. Otherwise, wouldn't Shen Jingxian be bullied for nothing? Chen Huanling's face was very gloomy and sad. He suddenly heard the bad news of his son's death. He rushed here in a hurry and was scolded by Shen Jinghao. How could his mood be good? However, when he was on the road, Shen Jinghao had already told him the analysis of the matter. He couldn't get angry, even if he wanted to now. He could only say, "Elder brother Shen, this matter is not clear yet. Can you wait until I understand everything? Elder Xiang, please help me take a look. How and when did my son die?" "Yes, Vice President Chen." Elder Xiang nodded and began to check Chen Jinping's situation. Chao Yuliang was also scared to the point that his face turned pale. He didn't expect Shen Jinghao to guess most of the plan correctly. He didn't want to deny it anymore. He just wanted to remove himself from the plan. However, it wasn't that difficult. Now that Chen Jinping was dead, there was no evidence. He could just blame it on Chen Jinping. He could say that Chen Jinping was the leader, and he was just a helper. That way, there wouldn't be any problem. Anyway, no one knew that he had to kill Xiao Chun because of Cheng Mingxiang. On the surface, most people thought that Chen Jinping was the biggest beneficiary. Chao Yuliang didn't get any benefits at all. Humph! Shen Jinghao snorted. He had a clear conscience, so he wasn't afraid of Chen Huanling. Moreover, the Shen family wasn't easy to bully. Chen Huanling wouldn't lie through his teeth. "Vice President Chen, your son was killed by a martial artist at the peak of Stage 6 internal force. He was killed with one move. The time of his death was half an hour ago," Elder Xiang said after a while. Chen Huanling could sense the strength of the person who killed him from the scene of his death. When he heard that the person was at the peak of Stage 6 internal force, Chen Huanling was shocked. Who was the one who did this? He had suspected that Shen Jinghao didn't want to marry Chen Huanling and set up a trap. However, when he heard the time of death, he knew that Shen Jinghao had been with Emperor Xie and Xie Chen. This couldn't be a lie. Besides, thinking about it carefully, no matter how crazy Shen Jinghao was, he wouldn't joke around with his daughter's reputation. If Chen Jinping hadn't been pushed down, it might have been a trap. But now it was all over. Chen Jinping was dead, and Shen Jingxian wouldn't be able to get married. Only a person with a mental problem would do such a thing. "Chao Yuliang, you know what happened, right? Now that things have come to this, just tell me the truth. What is going on?" Chen Huanling asked with a dark expression. "This, Uncle Chen, it has nothing to do with me. I came here to help Jinping put on a show. I just didn't expect Jinping to become like this," Chao Yuliang said sadly. "I know you are cooperating with him to put on an act. From the current situation, I can see that it was Chen Jinping who set this up to frame Xiao Chun. Tell me what's going on." Shen Jinghao snorted and berated. "Okay, actually the matter is very simple. Previously, Uncle Shen, you brought Chen Jinping to the Warrior Guild to discuss the engagement with Uncle Chen. In the end, because you couldn't gather the medicinal ingredients, Uncle Shen didn't seem to be too concerned about the engagement between the two of you. Chen Jinping was a little flustered and was afraid that you would break off the engagement, so he wanted to cook the rice. In this way, wouldn't you have no way to break off the engagement? What does that have to do with framing Xiao Chun?" Shen Jinghao's face darkened after he heard the reason. Was it because of him? He was a little embarrassed, so he interrupted Chao Yuliang's words and changed the topic to ask about Xiao Chun. Isn't he afraid of getting into trouble? If he did it with Shen Jingxian, then there are only two possibilities. Your Shen family will admit their loss and quickly agree to this marriage, or it will be a life and death struggle. The Chen family and the Shen family will break off, Chao Yuliang said. But it's different to frame Xiao Chun. Oh, what's different? Although Shen Jinghao felt that Chao Yuliang's words were a little unpleasant, he had to admit that Chao Yuliang's words were right. The Shen family was a family that cared about their reputation. If something like this happened, I'm afraid that they wouldn't stop even if they had to sacrifice Shen Jingshuan's reputation. Otherwise, if any small family was allowed to do this, and all the women of the Shen family were raped, then what would happen to the Shen family in the future? Even if old Master Shen wanted to make such a decision, Shen Jinghao had no right to participate, unless he concealed it. But there was no impenetrable wall in the world. If he concealed it, it would be bad for Shen Jingmao if this matter was exposed in the future. Uncle Shen, you also know that Chen Jinping has always hated Xiao Chen. After all, Xiaochen also likes Shen Jingxian. He even helped Xiaochen pursue Shen Jingxian. This was a great shame for him. So Chen Jinping wanted to kill Xiaochen. The most important problem is that Xiaochen had cheated Chen Jinping several times before. Chen Jinping's car was cheated by Xiaochen. So Chen Jinping hates Xiaochen. Chao Yuliang said. Shen Jinghao nodded. He was clear about what Chao Yuliang said. The cars that Xiaochen drove before were Chen Jinping's. But there was one thing that Chao Yuliang didn't say. That was Chao Yuliang also had a conflict with Xiaochen. However, it was normal to hide this, so Shen Jinghao didn't expose him. Shen Jinghao wouldn't believe that there was no Chao Yuliang's instigation. But now, there was no need to offend the Chao family. And then, Shen Jinghao asked, after framing Xiaochen, what benefits does he get? After framing Xiaochen, he will definitely go home and contact Uncle Chen. Then, he will ask Uncle Chen to help him put Xiaochen to death. Then when Xiaochen is dead, he will jump out to comfort Shen Jingxian, saying that he doesn't despise Shen Jingxian. At that time, Shen Jingxian will definitely be very touched, and then accept Chen Jinping. Moreover, she will feel that she owes Chen Jinping for the rest of her life. She will treat him well. Isn't this killing two birds with one stone? Chao Yuliang explained. Hehe, Chen Jinping is good at scheming, right? Chen Huanling, what do you say? Shen Jinghao was furious at the moment. Now that things had happened, and it was Chen Jinping who did it. The worst thing was that Chen Jinping was dead. Then what about Shen Jingxian? Brother Shen, don't worry. I will definitely give the Shen family an explanation for this matter. I won't let it go so easily. But now death is the most important thing. Let's bury Jinping first. Chen Huanling was also very helpless. Before, he had heard Chen Jinping vaguely mention that there was a plan to put Xiaochen to death, and he needed his cooperation. He didn't expect that it was this plan. Okay, this is what you said. Shen Jinghao nodded. He also knew that it was meaningless to pester him at this moment. Since Chen Huanling made a promise in front of so many people, he would certainly not go back on his word. When the time came, he would ask Chen Huanling to fight for more resources for the Shen family. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.